And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style. Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever. Gentlemen, it's been an honor to share the field of battle with you.
With Doug Russell.
It does mean something.
Nick Bruzowitz.
Beat him up in private.
And Dave Gasper.
Let's stay up all night long.
From Monroe Street to Lombardi Avenue.
There is your dagger.
This is your daily deep dive into the teams we love and the games we watch.
Touchdown, Wisconsin. And there it is. The Brewers will punch a ticket to the postseason.
Now here's Doug Russell.
All right, boys. We got 4 hours left. Let's make the most of it.
One last ride.
One last ride. It has been an honor to share the field of battle with you both.
It's the last dance.
There's a golf ball in the studio somehow. I don't know what that's all about.
That's a sign that we're going golfing because we got no other jobs to do. So during the day we can golf from 10 to 2 now.
Well,
I
wouldn't recommend that for the weather. Yeah.
No, maybe we got to head down to Florida or something.
Perhaps. Welcome in. It is the final edition of the D.N.D. Midday Show. The announcement, if you missed it, yesterday, the Game Radio Network is ceasing operations after today, and we will be back on 920, or at least the morning show will be back on AM 920 in Milwaukee, and Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is going to be what it is known as. The Huddle is the show, and the hosts are Drew Olson and Bill Schmid. Armin Sarian is the showrunner, and so that's what's going on. We've got one last show. We're going to run through the tape for you. We've got 4 hours, and we're going to have a lot of fun during these 4 hours, and number of things going on in sports right now. But the one thing that I think is at the top of my mind more than anything else is where we all were like almost exactly 1 year ago when the news came down that the great Bob Uecker had passed away. And we've got some remembrances and some stories of Bob Uecker. And, we'll hear from Brian Posick a little bit later on. He grew up listening to Bob Uecker. Matt Lepay, voice of the Badgers, worked alongside Bob Uecker during Matt's 8 seasons with the Brewers, and we'll hear from Nick Osen later on in the program as well before we close up shop for one last time. And I mean, when I think of Ueck, I mean, it's just somebody who spanned generations. And you think about, the fact that he was, a part of the Brewers broadcasts for over 50 years. I mean, that's just, it's absurd. It's almost unheard of. I shouldn't say it's not completely unheard of. I mean, guys like Denny Matthews are still out there, for example. And, but baseball is such a sport where you can have, and I think with Matt and with Wayne Larrabee, maybe it crosses over a little bit into football, but baseball, because there are so many games, you're with these announcers. If you're a fan of a team, day in and day out, they become a part of there's the fabric of your life. I mean, I remember when I was a kid shooting hoops in the summertime in my driveway, listening to Bob Uecker on my transistor radio. So, I mean, it spanning generation after generation, and he was missed in the booth this year. I think Jeff Levering did an amazing job when he was doing radio. I think Jeff is such a great announcer. Lane Grindle did a nice job. Josh Mauer did a nice job, but there was just something, and they were the first ones to admit, there's just a little something that was missing there this year.
Yeah, there was. And I think we all shared those kinds of experiences. I mean, I remember being a kid, hearing the radio in the garage, listening to Bob Uecker, call a game, they're shooting hoops or doing whatever other thing that I was doing outside in the driveway, in the garage, whatever it was. And I mean, he was a big reason I wanted to get in the radio, just listening to him call games, his cadence, just how, his voice calling a game, it just felt so comfortable,
Sure.
And what helped me to fall in love with baseball and radio itself, I mean, it's just because there's so much, not only are there so many games in baseball, there's so much downtime while calling a game that you got to fill. It's not quite like football where you got to, set everything up. You got to say, okay, we got trips to the right. We got a tight end set back here, running back over here to the left. There's so much time kind of in between. And that's where, Bob certainly really thrived, being able to weave in stories, and being able to, connect with the audience and just kind of weave those in while also calling a game. It's like, and that's a ball outside.
Shot
2-1 the count.
missed.
Yeah. So, that was, certainly an especially tough day for me. But really all of us, because Euchre he meant so much to everyone who grew up listening to Brewers games, because he was a part of the family. Mm-hmm. Even though he wasn't, blood related, he was family to all of us.
Still a big picture of him over in the corner here in the studio.
That's right. Yeah. Bob's just a great example of, living every day to its fullest and not taking yourself too seriously, being so gifted at your craft that you can be as silly as he was at times and maintain the level of respect that you had garnered and gained over years of excellence. So yeah, once you lose a legend like that, there really isn't a way to replace him. And I think it's special that now annually people are going to be able to think back on so many positive times in their life on January 16th, because that essentially now becomes Bob Euchre Remembrance Day in the beautiful state that we all call home.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I was listening to WTMJ, the Brewers flagship station, on the way in, and they've got, of course, just a library of some of his great calls, and they've been weaving it out in and out of their Wisconsin's Morning News broadcast today. So kudos to their production staff. I don't know I don't know their producer personally, but I do know Vince Vitrano and Eric Bilstead, their hosts. They did an amazing job today, just weaving Bob in and out, and it got you right in the feels, because 50 years of broadcasts and just one liner after another. So hats off to Bob. We'll have some remembrances of Bob. We'll have your thoughts and what he meant to you as we look back 1 year on his passing. All right, we got some other stuff that we're going to get to as well. Kyle Tucker gets absolutely, we talked about it a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely stupid money.
To the usual suspect. But
yeah, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Mets were in on it as well. Of course they were. So Kyle Tucker gets a 4-year deal for $240 million, average annual value. And I know some of it's deferred. So I think it's like 57.1 next year with some of it deferred, but it's basically $60 million.
Team friendly. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Very team friendly.
Yeah. How nice of him.
I don't want to understate that Kyle Tucker's a very good player.
Yeah,
very good player. I'm not here to bash Kyle Tucker. I will ask the question, is this guy worth $60 million a year? I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so either. But, they give him $60 million a year because they can, because they're the Dodgers, because they get $350 million in local TV rights money that no one else gets. No one else has anywhere near that amount of cash to be able to give out. And, you see so many of these people who, with their soy milk frappuccinos and their scoop bagels out there in Los Angeles trying to say, oh, well, every team can do this. We're just doing this thing smart. No, spare me that crap. That's not the case at all. Not every team can do this. You're throwing $60 million out there to a player who's not worth it just because you can, despite the fact that you already have 3 Hall of Famers in your lineup. You didn't exactly need him. You just won back-to-back World Series titles without him. It's like, oh no, well now we're just gonna go get the best player in the market and way overspend for him, force everyone else to up their offers and still get this guy anyways for $60 million a year just because they can. Just because there is no cap on anything. Their payroll is $400 million. Their luxury tax bill is going to be higher than half the league's payrolls.
Yeah, and that's something.
It's impressive work. They were on eyelash away from losing the World Series last year, right? I mean, the Blue Jays had it in their grasp and ultimately just couldn't deliver and get it done. The Dodgers, you can't fault them. I mean, if I'm building a lineup and I'm allowed to pick whoever the hell I want, I'm going to pick whoever the hell I want. I'm not just going to spare the other teams. But I see this as a net positive. I'm sure the 2026 season, if people are looking at in the immediate future, it's a great disappointment to see the Dodgers get even stronger, especially, being a fan of a National League team. But I do think it helps towards, I like a lockout. I want a lockout. I want a salary cap. And this is so egregious that it makes it evident that this is going to be really a strong, in my opinion, push towards the salary cap, having seen what the Dodgers have been able to do the last couple of years.
And that's been my argument a little bit with all of these absurd contracts that are specifically going to one team, but also the Mets are also in it as well. They were willing to spend all that much money. One of the reasons it was believed that David Stearns wanted to leave Milwaukee and go to New York was because he'd have unlimited resources. Well, he kind of does have unlimited resources, but you still have to make good baseball decisions, and you still have to have players perform. And outside of Juan Soto, I don't think they had really anybody perform. I mean, they've got some good players on their team, but it wasn't enough, obviously, to even make it to the playoffs last year. And then you look at the marvelous job that a guy like Matt Arnold does, making it work with the players and the payroll that is available to him. But, when you look at the absurdity of their contracts, I think that this is the Dodgers. I hope this is the Dodgers. I don't want a lockout, but I'll accept a lockout if it means that some of this spending gets reined in for Nick's terminology, sports socialism, because you just want a level playing field. That's all. I mean, if you're in an athletic endeavor, I mean, we've seen the genius of not only the NFL, which I think gets the most publicity for having, full revenue sharing with the television dollars and everything like that. But you look at the NBA, the best team in the NBA is Oklahoma City, tiny Oklahoma City. The Milwaukee Bucks 5 years ago won the NBA championship. Nobody thought that would ever happen, but they needed to make some good basketball decisions. They did need to spend more money than what Herb Cole was willing to spend, but they also needed to be more aggressive. They needed some luck as well, and that was Giannis. You look at the New York Knicks, and they're good this year, but historically in the last 30 years, they've been mostly terrible. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, and they've had a couple of good seasons, but they haven't broken through and gotten to that next level, and they haven't been great this year by a long shot. You look at the LA Clippers; they've made some big swings being in Los Angeles with Steve Ballmer as their owner, spending hundreds of millions of dollars after hundreds of millions of dollars. They built their new arena in Inglewood. They've got unlimited resources, and because the NBA is the NBA, you don't need to be in a big market in the NBA because it's so global to keep superstars, to attract superstars, and to win championships. And that's been the case by and large for a long time in that league. But in Major League Baseball, occasionally you'll get like a Kansas City Royals glow up, and they made it to back-to-back World Series. The Tampa Bay Rays have been very good. The Brewers have been good, but they haven't broken through to the World Series. But it's the last, this decade has been Dodgers mostly.
Yeah. And, I remember back to when the Dodgers beat the Brewers in 4 in the NLCS, and Dave Roberts saying, let's get 4 more wins and really ruin baseball. Well, now not only did you get 4 more wins, you've also now added Kyle Tucker, and you are really ruining baseball because, this is barreling towards a lockout and a very long fight for changes to the economics of baseball. The MLB is going to have to push for, because you're going to see the other owners push for changes to this. You're going to see the fans push for this. I know the players are against it, but for the occasional Kyle Tucker that gets $60 million, I mean, how about you help out your rank and file players with a cap and a floor system, because a floor is going to have to come along with a cap. That much is for certain. But a floor is going to help a lot of those rank and file players get much bigger dollar amounts so that those teams can reach the floors. Like they can get money much more quickly, and they can get bigger deals than they would otherwise get. It's like, yes, you can do this for the Kyle Tucker to get $60 million, and maybe instead of 60, he'll have to settle for $50 million a season. Ooh, the horror. But, the rank and file player, maybe instead of making $1 million, can make $5 million. That's actually a big difference for that.
I wonder if during this last show we should fix baseball, because as we all know, I'm fixing college athletics.
So
right
are we
now.
Appointing me commissioner then, or are you going to be NCAA president and I'll be commissioner of baseball?
Well, we're figuring this out. Let's workshop.
Well, I'm
this.
famously available starting Monday, so
let's workshop this, because we do need to figure some things out as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. Because I mean, I like to make the statement from time to time that pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. My fear about baseball is the same fear that I have for college football. It's you're going to be pricing your next generation of fans out. And the way that you get fans and the way that you keep fans is you create an experience that they want to continue to experience.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid going to ball games at County Stadium, listening to Bob Uecker on my little transistor radio from the bleachers oftentimes, I think that not long ago, I found, because I keep everything. My wife says I'm a hoarder. I prefer to think of myself as a collector.
Yes.
But of mementos. But I'm looking at old ticket stubs from back in the day, and like bleacher tickets were like $4. I like that. Yeah. That's how much they cost. It's a $4 special on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
that was a regular price.
That's a regular price. It was $4 for a bleacher ticket.
Yeah. And now it's 32.
Oh my God. Is it really 32?
I don't know. It probably
might be more. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's just the way, but you want to grab fans when they're young, and you want to create that experience for them while they're young. And the best way to do that is to make your product affordable and available.
Yeah.
And the other thing that grabbed me when I was a kid is not only listening to Bob do home games. They didn't televise home games back in the day. They did not televise, but the road games were on either Channel 18 or Channel 24 in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And you could watch them over the air. I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money, and my parents couldn't afford cable. So I didn't get cable until it was included in my dorm when I went to UW Oshkosh. Yeah. First time I ever had cable.
Like, what are all these channels?
My dad grew up on a farm in Nebraska. He didn't have indoor plumbing until he went to the University of Nebraska, until he went to college. Now that's my Waterloo. That's what it is for me. It was cable television. Like, ooh, what's this MTV? And I'd dial that up, and ESPN on there, the Friday night baseball is like, you guys go out. I'm going to watch the game here because I'd never experienced that before.
Yeah.
What I was able to do is I was able to watch all those games for free. And again, because we didn't have a lot of money growing up, it was affordable for my dad to take me and my brother to a game and sit in the bleachers, or to get general admission seats. We never had great seats, but we also, we could get in and out of there for, I don't know, $50.
You were there. You were in the
able
ballpark
to experience it. And my fear is, with the way that these salaries are going, because everything, you got to pay for all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're pricing everything out. We look at what's going on with the television situation with the Brewers right now, which is really up in the air because FanDuel Sports Network is for sale. Are they bankrupt or whatever they are?
Yeah, they're trying to find a buyer. So they're for sale because they do not have really any cash. They're missing payments to teams. So they're trying to offer like 3-year contracts to get them to 2028. Which is when all of MLB's media rights are going to be up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get to then, and it's all contingent on if they can find a buyer. DAZN, who does like some overseas streaming, like European soccer stuff, a deal with them fell through, so that's no longer happening. So they're thinking maybe Fubo could jump in, but they need a buyer. Sure. Otherwise, they are going to close up shop after this NBA season. They are done.
Okay. So that's a problem, obviously, for kids who just want to love the game.
Yeah.
And so I think it's all tied together. I mean, I think it's kind of ironic that, we're celebrating the 1-year passing of Bob, just celebrating his incredible life and wonderful career and everything that he meant to Brewers fans. But also, then you look at the Kyle Tucker contract and you're like, well, okay, but what does this mean for the future of the game?
Yeah.
I think it's in a certain way, it's kind of all tied together. Because you want to be able to experience everything that Bob was able to provide for a whole multiple generations of Brewers fans, myself included, who grew up listening to Bob, and you did, and a lot of people that are listening to the show grew up listening to Bob on the radio. But he painted the picture that made you want to go experience it. And if ticket prices, if you're spending $50 for a bleacher seat, I mean that. For a lot of people, that is cost prohibitive. It just is. I mean, there are a lot of people who would like to be able to be baseball fans, but if you price them out, you're ruining the next generation because you're not going to have that next generation. And kids' attention spans nowadays are so short. And to begin with, you think about them wanting to go to the stadium in the first place, and they're like, don't need it. I mean, the Brewers are taking out seats. Every stadium that's being built right now, like the new stadium in Las Vegas for the A's, it's only going to have about 30,000 seats. They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they know fewer and fewer fans are going. And that doesn't create a scarcity. What it does is it drives up the ticket prices for those that are going to go because there are fewer seats, but you do have to fill up the stadium. I mean, it's this endless cycle. It's this cycle of death that they're on right now. And I don't know if they recognize it yet.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if the A's are having fewer seats just because they had like no fans, like no one went out to the stadium out there in Oakland, but that's also because they were not putting together a good product on the field. But it also is going to make it tougher too for some of those, younger fans when it's like, okay, yeah, like we can go to this game and enjoy this, but like if the team doesn't have a chance, because it's like, okay, well, the Dodgers are a super team, so they're the only ones that really allowed to be good with the way that the financials are set up. And no matter how much you can put together a strong roster, it's like, okay, well, oh, here's the Dodgers, we're going to lose. Okay, well, that's not fun. Kids don't enjoy watching losing. They want to see winning as well. So, obviously depending on age, when they're like 4 years old, they're just happy to be there. But still, being able to have that experience, I mean, it's critical. And when you're seeing people priced out of it, and yeah, for the parents, I mean, look at concessions too, not only for tickets, but concessions. Kids are going to want to eat. You're going to want to eat. When it costs you $8 for a hot dog, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's a lot of trouble. I mean, baseball is trending in a direction where the consumer is not winning. The players are winning because more money is being funneled into their pockets. Opportunities like the Dodgers are available for them. Time will tell how that change is moving forward. If we stay on the path we're staying on, I mean, it's just you start looking at the Dodgers like the Harlem Globetrotters, and that's just everybody else is just looking to just be there and have a good time.
Yeah. Now I will say that, like this past season, past couple of years, attendance in stadium has been going up in Major League Baseball, kind of reversing that downward trend somewhat. And they're also seeing like the TV numbers like jump up as well. So like interest is certainly like climbing and gaining there. And I think part of that is the fact that the game is now 2.5 hours instead of 3.5.
Huge help. That's a huge help.
So that's helping gain some of that interest back in, people going to games, people watching it. So it's not totally,
it's not bad. I'm not saying
but
that
the economics of how it's all run, with the Dodgers being what they are versus small market teams and everyone else, that is certainly trending in the wrong direction.
There's a tipping point, is what I'm saying, is that at some point it's going to be, okay, you're pricing your next generation out. They're not there. I mean, and right now you look at, well, things are fine right now. The attendance is okay right now. It's that next generation that I'm fearful for. So yeah, I mean, you can look at the trends, but if you're any kind of business owner, you've got to
look long term,
and you've got to look long term. Exactly. All right, we'll continue on. Hit us up on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. Again, 877-794-1973. Remembering Bob Uecker, we're talking about 1 year ago. We lost Bob. Also, what's your football rooting interest this weekend? And Brian Posick's going to join us in a few minutes as well. Badgers lost a tough one last night at the Kohl Center against Michigan State, but I got good news. Rematches tonight.
Let's go.
Talk about it with Post coming up in a few minutes. Stay with us on the game.
In your heart, baby, don't you forget about me. It starts with
one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time.
It's D.N.D. here on this Friday, January 16th, 2026, as we kind of celebrate, look back on the life of Bob Uecker. We lost 1 year ago today. And we're talking about the future of baseball. Dan in Waukesha writes on the talk and text line, no professional athlete is worth these ridiculous contracts. I mean, yes. Yes and no. I mean,
I understand where you're coming from.
Right. $60 million a year is stupid.
Yeah.
The counter argument is, well, what does this athlete generate for the owner?
Yeah.
So
what do they bring? What do they do that really no one else can?
Grandma Russell used to say that money's the root of all evil.
Yes.
And as we all know, Grandma Russell was folksy.
Yes.
But she's not wrong.
Not wrong at all.
Because the gap is getting wider and wider and wider, and you want baseball and sports to be as accessible to as many people as possible. But Dan goes on to write, and I'm the biggest sports fan you'll find. It's out of hand, and I think that's the crux of what I agree with Dan. It's out of hand. This contract will be the final nail in the coffin for baseball and the impending work stoppage next year. That'll be the final nail in the coffin, but
it's a nail.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
The real issue isn't even having a salary cap, which is needed. It's the TV revenue the Dodgers get that nobody else can have. That's the real issue. Yeah, when you're dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars more than other teams, it's an issue.
Yeah, their TV revenue alone is more, or I think is about as much as the Brewers' entire total revenue as an organization. Everything, tickets, concessions, every single thing that they do, all the events, all their revenue is, I think, still less than what the Dodgers just get for their TV rights alone.
Yeah.
Like there is no way for the Brewers to compete. Even if you're in the Mark Attanasio is cheap crowd, there is no way to compete with that type of contract, with that type of salary. No one, they cannot physically do that, what the Dodgers are able to do. And when we talk about, the NBA, these small market teams are successful, best team in the league, Green Bay is able to have so much success. It is because they have economic systems with salary caps that allow for an actual even playing field for Los Angeles versus Green Bay or Milwaukee or Oklahoma City. It allows for that even playing field, which is what you don't have in baseball and what they desperately need.
Yeah, when you look at the television rights broadcast deal that the Dodgers have, I mean, it trumps everybody by a mile. I mean, even the Yankees, even the Mets. I mean, those respective teams, I think, get roughly $100 million a year, and the Dodgers get $300 million a year. So it is very much an advantage for that particular group, the Dodgers.
Yeah,
it's wild to think that would be so much more valuable than even. Not necessarily their same town. I mean, Anaheim is what? How close to Los Angeles?
Depends on traffic. It's miles wise, it's about 30 miles, but in reality, it can be an hour or two.
And they just destroy, right? I mean, no one cares. I mean, the Angels are irrelevant in that market, and they're the essentially in the same exact market. I mean, the Clippers and the Lakers are kind of similar, but. Yeah, I think that there's going to have to be some changes moving forward for people to take the sport seriously. And I don't know if they've ever been challenged in that way. I think that previously it was just status quo. It's the expectation. The best teams are the teams with the most money. That's just how it works. But as Dave highlighted, as we've noted, the sport's popularity is slowly creeping back up in terms of attendance, in terms of viewership. And the more eyes on the sport, the more people are going to recognize, yeah, this is kind of dumb. This is kind of stupid and unfair. And you want to be able to look at a team like the Brewers last year, who led Major League Baseball in victories, and say, that's the team that's going to win the World Series. But we all knew in the back of our mind, in our hearts, that they had little to no shot unless something special came together. And you shouldn't have to be that way if you're the best team in baseball based off your record. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. We'll all root for what's best for the sport. We're all baseball fans at varying levels. I like it a lot. Doug clearly likes it a lot. Dave is obsessed and
Then
loves
there's
it.
me.
Like
Yeah.
there are levels to it. And it's important that even the most casual of fans are consuming a product that they think makes sense. And I think even casual fans are like, nah, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Keep them coming on the talk and text line, 877-794-1973. We will spin through some more coming up in just a few minutes, but Badgers hockey voice Brian Posick is going to join us coming up next. The Badgers, they lost a tough one last night. Lost a tough one to Michigan State, 4-3 at the Kohl Center. That's the bad news. Good news is they get to do it again tonight. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock. There's going to be a good crowd at the Kohl Center tonight, so the atmosphere is going to be electric. And in the middle of it all is going to be our guy, Brian Posick, and he's coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Because I used to love her, but it's all over now. Well, she used to run around. Loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change things that I feel?
It's D.N.D, Doug Russell, Nick Briswitz, and Dave Gasper. Badgers went their own way last night. Oh, so close. 4-3. They lose a close one to Michigan State. As I like to say, that's the bad news. The good news is they get to do it again tonight at the Kohl Center. Joining us on the program, as he has through the entire hockey season, Brian Posick, the voice of the Wisconsin men's hockey team, and also the host of the Wisconsin Hockey Hour. Brian, appreciate the time. How are you today?
Good, Doug. How you guys doing?
We're great. Badgers lose last night 4-3. Close, but no cigar. Tough game last night.
Yeah, they dug themselves a hole. Mike Hastings, I think, feared that. You come back from a Christmas break, and the young men are feeling good about themselves, and they should. They're off to their best start since the 2006 national championship season. And coming off a series sweep of Anchorage where they had to hang on that Saturday night to beat the Seawolves. But they came out a little sluggish, didn't possess the puck in the first period or the second for that matter. It was 1-1 early second, and then Michigan State scored 3 in a row and got to the middle of the ice, and Wisconsin didn't defend well in that regard. And Wisconsin got one back late second, and then early in the third, it's 4-3. And had chances. I mean, they had a handful of breakaways last night, Montgomery and Finley, among others, and couldn't convert against Trey Augustine, who's an All-American goaltender. And then about a minute left, extra attacker, Ben Dexheimer, their captain, shoots one that hit the right post, an inch to the left, and it's a tie hockey game, and who knows what happens. So dug themselves a hole they couldn't get out of, and we'll see how they respond tonight. They haven't lost back-to-back games this season. And this is a big game tonight against Michigan State. They've actually flipped places in the NCAA Power Index, which determines the 16-team field for the NCAA tournament. Wisconsin was third going into last night's game. Michigan State was sixth, and now Michigan State's third in the Power Index and Wisconsin's sixth. And the winner tonight wins the regular season series, which is big as far as seeding in the Big Ten tournament. So a big one tonight at the Kohl Center.
Ryan, it's not to say that they haven't been challenged recently, but outside of Western Michigan, Michigan State is most obviously the toughest test they've had in a while. And do you think there's value in maybe being punched in the mouth and having the chance certainly to respond the next night here at home?
Yes, I think so. Sometimes lessons are tough to learn. You need to get popped once in a while just to kind of wake you up and think, okay, what more can I do to allow this team to reach its utmost potential? So, and Joe Polotachuk, one of the assistant captains, basically said the same thing last night. We haven't, when we faced adversity, Joe said, and they haven't faced it a lot, they've been able to respond. Again, back to my point, they haven't lost back-to-back games. They were good in the third period, but the first 40 minutes not good enough. And you're not going to beat Michigan State if you're playing one of 3 periods. You're not going to beat most teams if you go about it that way. So they need to buckle down tonight. And boy, Michigan State's good. Adam Nightingale's in his 4th year as the head coach. He came from the National Team Development Program. He's got one of the youngest teams in college hockey, but they've got 15 NHL draft picks, 4 first-rounders, 5 second-rounders. And Charlie Stramel, a former Badger, a first-round pick of the Minnesota Wild, was a big difference last night. He had a goal, which proved to be the game winner. He had an assist. He leads their team in scoring. He's plus 22 or 23, which is pretty impressive. So, Michigan State's a good hockey club from the goal all the way out, and Wisconsin's got to be better and match the energy that the Spartans brought last night.
Yeah, and in order to do that, you're going to have to get contributions. I mean, up and down the lineup. And yesterday, Kyle Kukkonen, his first goal.
Kukkonen, yeah.
See, this is why we have the pro on here for this. But he got his first goal since October. That's got to be a great feeling for him to get back on the scoreboard there.
Yeah, and that's what he has the ability to do. When he was a freshman at Michigan Tech, he had 18 goals. Last year as a junior at Wisconsin, he had 10, and they were hoping that he could contribute. This team this year is deeper than it was a year ago. So his opportunities have not been as prevalent. Same can be said of Tyson Dick, senior centerman, who had not been in the lineup because of the play of Vasily Zilanov, a freshman centerman. Zilanov gets hurt and other things transpire. Tyson all of a sudden is in the lineup, and he's got averaging a point per game over the last 9 games he's played. But Kukinen's a guy that can put the puck away. He got an opportunity last night, and I'm sure he'll see the ice again. He's all in. Whatever the coaches ask him to do, he might not be happy if he's a healthy scratch, but he's all in with this club. And it was good to see him. That was a big goal at the time because it gave Wisconsin some belief, and they came out and dominated the third period, just couldn't get another one past Augustine.
I know that usually when it's a Friday, Saturday, couple of games series over the weekend at the Kohl Center, you get huge crowds. What was the crowd like last night? Because I know we had Patrick Herb on a couple of days ago, and he was saying there's not many tickets left for Friday night, but we're trying to get a few more fans in on Thursday. How was the crowd last night? Because you're going to have a big one tonight.
Yeah, it's a Thursday-Friday series based on television, believe it or not. Right. So the Big Ten Network has decided to go to more Thursday night hockey games because all of a sudden Big Ten basketball, college basketball thinks Friday nights are a big deal. So it's changed the regular routine and tradition of college hockey in a sense. And actually, I think we'll see more Thursday, Friday series as we go along here the next few years. But it was a disappointing crowd, let's say the least. The 7,700 that they announced were all on their feet in the third period when Wisconsin was trying to force overtime. So the ones that were there were exceptional. But the students aren't around. Their classes don't start until next week. Maybe a few will trickle in. Had this been a Friday, Saturday series, I think we would seen some students last night. And definitely on a Saturday night, hopefully they trickle in tonight. I remember when you guys were in college and you had your semester break, you're home for Christmas. And after a while, it's like, I want to get back to college and have some fun. Right. So, so I'm hoping that some of the students make their way back and we'll see them in the arena tonight. But yeah, the upper deck will be open. They'll have, over 10. And I know they're hoping for 11 or 12 or so. They've got Penn State coming to town next Friday and Saturday. And that's a team that went to the Frozen Four last year. Big crowds expected there. They still have Notre Dame and Michigan coming to town. And, so this is an important game again tonight against Michigan State. Try to win the regular season series, get that tiebreaker against the Spartans, who are the 2-time defending league champs. And if you can do that, that piques more people's interest that, hey, this team is really, really good, is for real. I think they are, just didn't have enough last night.
Brian, looking back to the time frame between 2005 and 2011, the Kohl Center was averaging about 14,000 fans in attendance for those teams. And certainly talking about national championship in that window, but you feel the vibe inside that arena when you're on the call. Is it starting to feel like you might be trending back towards some of those glory days about 2 decades ago?
I think it's coming. Yeah. When Mike Hastings was hired a few years ago, they won 26 games and people took notice. And they were coming out to the Kohl Center in droves. And then last year they won half as many. And so there were still good crowds at home, but just not the same juice because unfortunately for Wisconsin, it wasn't going anywhere. But now this year, when you're ranked second in the country when the weekend began, you've got 15 wins. Your 3 losses at the time were the fewest in the NCAA. You can tell that, people are excited about where this program is headed. And, again, there's more depth on this team than a year ago. Mike and his staff will continue to add depth. I think this team will be a Big Ten contender and therefore an NCAA contender as we move forward. But, you were talking about that stretch actually through, 2013, 2014, Wisconsin had really good teams. That 2014 team was national championship caliber, but lost in the regional semifinal to North Dakota in Cincinnati on a puck that went off a guy's rib and into the back of the net in the last few minutes of the hockey game. And sometimes Michigan State scored a goal last night on a save by Hauser that went off his blocker. It hit one of the Spartans right in front of the net and goes in. That's 1-0. sometimes breaks happen. You get them, and sometimes you don't. But then you look. Wisconsin won 4 games in 2015. They won 8 games in 2016. Tony Granato came on. Wisconsin won 20 games. The place was hopping because it was Tony Granato as the head coach. Don Granato, Marco Sicchi were assistant coaches. The fans thought, okay, we're getting back to what we saw in 2006, 2010, and prior to that. But then winning 14 games, it kind of drained the life out of the fan base. And so Mike Hastings is put the product on the ice. Now it's up to the fans to come out and respond. And I think they will here over the final stretch of this regular season.
Yeah, you get the fans come out for the men's team and for the women's team as well. I mean, we talk about just kind of both dominant and what they've been able to do on the women's program. And this weekend they got the St. Thomas Tommies.
Yes,
they're going to be taking on. So I mean, just for both of these programs, I mean, it's a big weekend for sure.
Yeah, St. Thomas, a team that took Wisconsin overtime in Madison in the first semester. They're a program that's building. They have their men's program too right now is right in the hunt for the NCAA tournament. Playing out of the CCHA, leading that league. They have a beautiful new building, a lot of funding, a lot of people with deep pockets up in St. Paul. And so I think that St. Thomas program is going to be pretty good. And you look at the Wisconsin women, they have only 1 loss out of 22 games so far this season. They've got 5 Olympians on their roster. They'll play this weekend against St. Thomas. Next weekend, they're home against Bemidji State. And then those 5 Olympians split. And Wisconsin will be without them for the final 8 games of the regular season. They won't return from Italy until the playoffs begin. So getting these 2 games this weekend for the Badgers, next weekend against Bemidji, try to stay in first place in the WCHA and see how it works out with the Olympians out of town.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Every time you look at some of the Olympic previews, you see either Lila Edwards or Caroline Hartley, and them getting interviewed and getting the program in Madison some shine is really cool as well. Yeah, I did a 360 tour of the St. Thomas's new arena up in St. Paul. The thing's gorgeous. The thing's amazing. It's amazing what big money can do for a program. Brian Posick joining us here one last time. This is our final show, by the way. Think about professional sports teams like the New York Jets. Think about professional sports teams that have poor upper management, and therefore they don't win regularly because they can't make the right decisions other than to line their own pockets. I'm the 1070, the game, the big 1070, Tim Scott and I, Mike Lucas, Mike Heller, Phil Dawson, Owen Murphy. We put a lot of hard work into this radio station to make it the best local sports talk radio station in Madison. Because of the size of the signal of WTSO, it reaches a lot of places. And with the iHeartRadio app, we had a large fan base. And unfortunately, over the last several years, it's been peeled down to what it is now. And, all the work you've done, Doug, and Nick and Dave, I mean, I don't work there full time anymore, but I'd like to say thanks because you kept me entertained. And I know you kept a lot of sports fans entertained as well, as did everybody, every show that we've had on, from Lucas in the morning to whatever. It's a shame. It's a shame, but we'll see you guys. You can still talk sports. You can still talk sports at a bar. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Brian, you're the best. We appreciate everything that you have done and continue to do for us and for hockey. You're a great ambassador for the sport, and we've really enjoyed having you on the program every Friday.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Good luck. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks. There he goes, Brian Posick joining us one last time here on D.N.D, the voice of the men's hockey team. Absolutely. One of the best in the business, one of the classiest guys you're ever going to come across in this business. And again, just an incredible ambassador for the sport of hockey. And we're lucky to have him.
We got him
still on
camera.
The damn stream. You're not supposed to still be there.
Yeah. He's
as I'm giving him his shine.
It's all messed
giving
up.
Him his props.
Just take a break. Just take a break, man. Good God.
That's right.
The break is coming up here in about 1 minute. Still to come. We've got some more remembrances of Bob Uecker coming up, and also We're going to join Matt Lepay coming up about a little bit less than an hour from now as well. Nick Osen's going to join us coming up a little bit later on in the program. And we pulled a little bit of Bob Uecker audio. We'll play that back for you a little bit later on in the program as well. Bob, when he was really kind of making a name for himself nationally, it wasn't with the Brewers. It was on the Johnny Carson show. It was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And he did some 100 appearances with Johnny Carson over the years. And that's what grew the word that they use today is brand. But that wasn't a thing back in the day. He was just a funny former ball player who would come on with Johnny Carson and with that traditional deadpan, that signature deadpan, just deliver some of the most incredibly funny lines that you could possibly imagine. All right, now we'll take a break. We'll be back after this on The Game.
very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the Los Angeles Dodgers struck again, landing Kyle Tucker in a 4-year, $240 million deal last night.
Stupid money.
The Mets,
dumb.
The New York Mets offered 4 years and $220 million.
Even that's dumb, but
yeah,
I mean, it's less dumb than what the Dodgers did.
Yeah, $20 million shy at that level.
Kyle Tucker's a good player. I even go as far as to say he's a very good player.
He's a 4.5 to 5.5 win player historically.
Yeah, I mean he's good. I'm not denigrating his talent. I'm just saying that's a lot of juice for the squeeze.
Yeah, I mean, according to like this general, the general idea, teams are spending around $8 million per win above replacement on average. So if he's about a 5-win player at $8 million per, that comes out to, what would that be? 40 million a year?
Yeah, I mean, still that's a lot.
And he's getting 60.
Right. And I've always thought that WAR it's a metric. It's not the metric.
Right.
But it's a metric.
Yeah.
I think it's the most effective metric. I think that it's the best of all.
In terms of putting it into one number. Yes.
Right.
Because there's so much that happens. Like it's very hard to boil it all down into one number.
Yeah.
Good for so many different things.
But again, I think it's a bit of a flawed number, but that's just me.
Right. But I mean, even Juan Soto was, 51 million a year average annual value.
Right.
I mean, it was a stupid length of the deal. Like this is a shorter term, but still.
Yeah, that's the only saving grace on this is that it's shorter length of a deal because, when Juan Soto reaches the end of his contract, I mean, you look at Albert Pujols, for example, when he signed that mega for the time.
Yeah, 10-year deal.
Incredibly long contract with the Angels. I mean, he has, you look at his splits between the first half of his career and the second half of his career at St. Louis and the Angels.
Yeah.
I mean, he fell off the face of the earth in comparison.
Yep. And that is why the Angels are always bad.
And that's why the Angels are the Angels.
Yes, exactly. They also could be compared to the New York Jets, perhaps. Meanwhile, speaking of bad, the Milwaukee Bucks lost last night to Bald Wemby and the Spurs, 119-101.
Good luck on Wemby.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how Nick described him yesterday.
Bald Wemby?
Bald Wemby.
Handsome.
Bald Wemby.
He's bald.
Handsome Wemby.
You know what?
Yes.
He is, he visited the Shaolin Temple in China, and he spent some time there.
Yes.
Keldon Johnson also shaved his head yesterday. His teammate.
Really
interesting.
Nice. Really nice look.
Maybe the Bucks could do that for some good luck or something. Because let's see, Giannis had 21 points. Okay. Kevin Porter Jr. 0 points.
Yeah.
Miles Turner 5 points.
Yep.
AJ Green and Ryan Rollins had 6.
That
was the starting lineup.
They were down 37 points after the third quarter. So the final score was 119-101.
Yeah.
The Bucks outscored the Spurs 32-13 in the final quarter because the game
stopped caring.
The game was over.
Yeah. They pulled their starters and they're like, yep, that's it. We'll put in the bench guys.
It was more than a full quarter of absolute garbage time. Last night, I know the Spurs are a good team. They are. Now they're 28-13.
And the Bucks are not.
That was another embarrassing performance.
What do you mean? When you get 0 points from Kevin Porter Jr., you combine
plays
for
23 minutes.
17 total points from the rest of your starting lineup outside of Giannis.
Kevin Porter missed all 9 shots he took.
Yeah. I mean, that's even worse than the Tony Snell line when he plays 28 minutes, 0 points, 0 shots, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and he did absolutely nothing out there on the court.
Kevin Porter's plus minus, which you talk about flawed statistics.
It's a metric.
It is. It is a flawed statistic. Still, this is minus 35.
Is that bad?
That's bad.
Yeah.
That
seems bad.
Atrociously bad. Again, flawed statistic. But
it's been that type of year. You know what I mean? Like, they were minus 31 with Giannis on the floor last night.
Yeah.
You typically you impact winning if you're that level of player, if you have a capable roster, even a subpar roster around you. The problem is Miles Turner's not done anything yet.
Nope.
You don't know who the hell else you can even count on a given night.
This team sucks right now. This team just
Kuzma played all right, but he sent up 13 threes.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. How else
hey,
to put it.
Thanasis had a +9.
This team, yeah, he played in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
This team sucks right now. This
Yep.
team they're not fun to watch on any level.
Yeah, I would agree. It was just straight up bad. Meanwhile, not bad. A lot more fun to watch. Badger basketball. They take on Rutgers tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Kohl Center. So very excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's Nick Osen's birthday.
Oh, there we go.
We'll have to celebrate that with him.
Yeah, wish him
tomorrow.
a happy birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is, at least. It'll be super awkward if we say it, but I'm pretty sure he is like an encyclopedia. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like he knows everyone's birthday. He'll be like Nick Brusewitz, December 11th. And I'll be like, yeah, what the hell? I mean,
well, ask him if he knows my birthday.
He might. And that would be kind of creepy.
Mine.
No, we can't. No, I know.
He'll know. He's going to have some level of like Rolodex.
Honestly,
he pulls out.
I'm pretty good with that too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. My wife forgets everybody's birthday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with birthdays.
Yeah. I usually remember pretty good with birthdays.
I only remember Lena's birthday. Armin's young child.
That's an odd one to remember.
Yeah, it's just, you know what?
Why? Because it's December 11th and it's your birthday too?
It's July 10th. And it's because of I was in Milwaukee for 3 weeks as a result of it when he was on paternity leave.
Yes.
I just won't forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll text him. Originally, it was like, happy 6 months, happy 7 months, happy 8 month, happy 9 month birthday to Lena. And I keep forgetting the last couple months, but I remember on that day.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah.
And at what age do you stop referring to it as months and years, right?
I don't know, 13 or 14 years old, something like that.
Here's my 176 month old.
Yeah. Like, okay, come on. We get it. We get it. But, yeah.
It's my 97 month old.
Yeah. Well, it's like I remember like Billy's second son, Benson. Like I remember that. It's like that's late April because that was right around the draft time when Billy was not able to join us for the rest of the draft coverage because he had priorities.
Right. And so we let him stay back here, and Wayne and I handle things
because he wants to stay married.
Yeah. I mean, having been the only one, let's see, I'm trying to think of everybody else on the staff. I think I'm the only one who's actually paid for a divorce.
Well, that's left.
Yeah. Highly don't recommend.
Yeah.
That's been, golly, how long has that been? It's been over 20 years. So,
wow. Oh, there we go.
It was expensive then. It's probably really expensive now.
Yeah, probably much worse. So let's not do that.
How did we get to divorce?
Billy wanting to be there for the birth of his child.
Billy not wanting to pay for one.
Yeah. So makes sense. It's also been 1 year since we lost Bob Uecker. And so, just gotta, share some memories. So I pulled, here's the moment, we lost Uecker a year ago. Here's a moment of Uecker talking about when it all began, his birth story.
I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Actually, I was born in Illinois. My mother and father were on an oleomargarine run to Chicago back in 1934 because we couldn't get colored margarine in Wisconsin. On the way home, my mother was with child, me, and the pain started, and my dad pulled off into an exit area, and that's where the event took place. I remember it was a nativity type setting. An exit light shining down. There were 3 truck drivers there. One guy was carrying butter. One guy had frankfurters, and the other guy was a retired baseball scout who told my folks that I probably had a chance to play somewhere down the line.
Incredible. And if you get a chance, go back and watch the whole 20-minute speech. It was just perfection.
So I think one of the things that made Bob as funny as he was is he never broke.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Saturday Night Live, you see some of the actors, because it's all live. If you break, it's live on television. And Bob Uecker, by the way, hosted Saturday Night Live once.
He did.
Back in 1983, 84, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
If you have Peacock, you can go back and watch it if you want. And he never broke. All of those crazy stories, all of those just delivered with that signature deadpan look.
Yeah.
And as everybody's just falling over in the aisles, because that was, I think many of us have heard that story, but that's the first time that he told it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
He had new material that day.
Oh yeah, he did for his Hall of Fame speech. And kind of like what we talked about yesterday with like Leslie Nielsen and like, the type of humor he's trying to do. It's like, you can't let them know like you're trying to be funny. Like you can't be trying, like you got to try and play it straight as possible. Not break, and it's like, I'm being serious. It was a nativity type setting.
The North Star was the exit light.
Yeah, the exit light. Coming down.
3 wise men.
There are 3 truckers, 1 carrying butter.
What a guy! Legendary moment. Legendary person.
His ability to tell a story, just incredible.
And we'll hear another one coming up a little bit later on in the program when he was on with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will also have another Bob Uecker moment to remember in the 12 o'clock update.
We do have a bit of MLB breaking news. I'm not sure, Dave, if you become aware of it.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
What do we got?
So breaking news. Hold on a second. Let's get the breaking news.
Is it worthy of the breaking news?
This is breaking news.
Big news.
Breaking news. From Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Bo Bichette has made his decision, and he is going to the New York Mets.
No, okay.
So the Mets miss out on Kyle Tucker, and instantly they pivot, and they will get the next top player on the market, Bo Bichette, leaving the Toronto Blue Jays, and he will go to the New York Mets, and he is expected to play third base for them because famously they have Francisco Lindor at shortstop.
Right.
He's pretty good.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's pulling an A-Rod is what he's doing.
And they traded for Marcus Semien. And so
and Semien will be at second base.
That's right. You got an infield. They're collecting the infinity stones of the infield, and their outfield
is
Juan Soto's not a great defensive player.
Yeah.
They have no Brandon Nimmo anymore. We'll see what happens there. But
Bo Bichette, a 3-year deal for Bo Bichette per Will Salmon of The Athletic.
Okay.
So another short-term deal with him. No deferrals and opt-outs after the first and second seasons. So it's basically a series of 3 1-year deals.
Okay.
Is essentially what Bichette is getting. So huge guarantee, 3 years, $126 million for Bo Bichette. So let me do some quick math on that. 126 divided by 3, $42 million a year for Bo Bichette.
A lot of money, but it's still not the 60 that
it's
Kyle
still
Tucker
not
got.
60.
But he sets himself up for a healthy season and an opt-out and hits free agency again next year.
Yes,
but
correct.
Yes.
This is similar to Alex Bregman, what he did last year with the Boston Red Sox.
Yes, but with the lockout looming.
Yes.
If it happens.
I mean, if he opts out, it's, maybe seller beware, if you will.
Yeah, it's very possible that there's certainly that risk there. But also, we did see this before the last lockout, where because the lockout will begin December 1st. Like that's when the CBA ends. That's when they'll lock everything out. You still have like a month of free agency where teams will like sign. We saw a huge rush of signings before the last lockout. That's where the Brewers, thankfully, were able to trade away Jackie Bradley Jr. somehow after that disaster of a deal when they brought him in.
At least they pivoted from him.
Traded him out, got Hunter Renfroe instead. It's like, okay, well, that works. They did that at the last minute. So there was a whole rush of moves then before. And if they're expecting a cap, I would think a lot of teams would put out the big money initially, get that contract on the books before a lockout. So that way, if they put a cap in, they at least have those contracts grandfathered in.
Yeah, that would seem to make the most sense. Because everybody, especially the Dodgers, especially the ones that want to spend the money.
Yeah. And the Mets, they want to spend some money because otherwise, you were having Mets fans that were really having it up to here with David Stearns.
Well, yeah,
David Stearns was getting a whole lot of love here for most of his time. And now he goes to the Mets and they're just like, do something.
Right. And that's fair because that's why he went to the Mets. Steve Cohen, their owner, has said that he will, and has shown that he will spend just about as much as Mark Walter will out in L.A.
Yeah.
If you've got the means, you owe it to your fans to spend the money. The system is broken, but if you've got the money and you don't spend it, then your fans are going to get pissed off, and I get it.
My question would be what direction the Blue Jays go in moving forward now. They've had a very quiet offseason, in my opinion, outside of
they got Dylan
Japanese.
Cease.
Dylan Cease, that's a good point. And the in terms of bats, I guess they got the Japanese infielder Akamoto, I think.
Yes.
So there's that.
Kazuma Akamoto.
In my opinion, I'm looking at the Mets. On paper, once again, they look like they should be a really good baseball team. It's just a matter of if they can be that team.
Well,
yeah.
They have some really good young arms on the mound. Maybe they have the Brewers.
The first 3 months of the season last year, they were as good as anyone, and then they just kind of folded up like a cheap suit in the second half.
Well, they apparently were having some locker room issues. There was some, some sort of frostiness there. Some guys not getting along. Some guys wanting to do things a certain way. Other guys wanting to change things up. That's also kind of why we're seeing David Stearns make these changes, like let Pete Alonso walk, let Edwin Diaz walk, trade out Brandon Nimmo. Bring in Marcus Semien. So they are trying to do a changing of the guard in that locker room.
It feels like Pete Alonso was pissed off his last 2 years in New York.
Well, yeah, because they didn't give him the 7-year contract that he was looking for.
That's right. Boo-hoo. So that's why.
Yeah, he's like, I've been so great for you guys. Are going to invest in me or not? Do you believe in me or not?
And I guess the answer is no.
No,
I guess not. So that's why he's going to Baltimore.
Yep.
They also have the resources to potentially make a deal for Freddie Peralta. I think that needs to be recognized.
They do.
As we try and kind of check off the teams that might really take a back seat now. Like Boston doesn't feel as realistic as it did.
Yeah.
Right. And the Yankees
probably
certainly can still do it, but they traded away 4 of their not necessarily premier. I think 1 top 10 prospect to get Weathers.
But they got a different pitcher under control that they were looking for.
And the Mets, Dave and I talked about it probably 2 months ago. Like there was a make-believe deal that had been MLB Network or one of these networks that was how the Mets could get it done. And they have those players still. So we'll see.
Yeah. So that's certainly possible. And Brewers still potentially looking at that Freddie Peralta trade market. We also, this got lost in the shuffle yesterday with the Kyle Tucker news, but there was a 3-team trade yesterday between the Angels, Rays, and Reds. Josh Lowe went to the Angels. Gavin Lux, pride of Racine or Kenosha. Yeah, Kenosha. Pride of Kenosha, he gets moved from the Reds to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Gavin's been moved a lot in his career.
It was Dodgers, then Reds, now Rays. So I think it's his third team.
The third team. Okay.
Yeah, he's been involved in a lot of trade rumors, but he finally got moved once because the Dodgers just finally got
moved a lot too.
Yeah, well, Kelnick hasn't exactly panned out at the big league level, which makes it tough for him. There's kind of a 3-team trade there. Brock Burke, left-handed reliever, goes from the Angels to the Reds.
The balance of power in the MLB shifted in that move.
Yeah, especially when it happens at the exact same time as Kyle Tucker.
Josh Lowe, whichever pronunciation of it is.
I think it's Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe, I think.
And Nathaniel Lau or Lowe?
I think it's the first base. I don't, man. It's hard to keep them all straight. There's 3
Lau or Lowe. Josh L is a good player that just can't stay healthy. So, I mean, maybe the Angels find some level of we won something here in this trade, but we'll see.
Well, the Angels certainly have a history of having their players be healthy and, having rebound seasons with them.
That's right.
That was sarcasm, Doug. I don't know if you could pick up on.
You're laying it down pretty thick. So,
okay.
That's an interesting take, Dave.
Yeah, it's a very sarcastic one. But, he gives them a left-handed hitter in their lineup because the Angels, their only left-handed hitter is Nolan Schanuel. Everyone else is a righty. So Josh Lowe will give them some balance there.
Yeah, the Angels are really interesting as a franchise. Like Schanuel went straight from the draft into their lineup before the end of the season a couple years ago.
Yeah, they've done that a lot in recent
years. And they did
that
last year with a starting pitcher whose name is escaping me. But it's nice to see how other franchises operate and realize how much better you might have it with your respective franchise. And I'm not sure anyone does have it better in terms of, progression and prospect growth and then major league production than the Brewers. But the Dodgers being ranked number 1 in the farm system too is a tough break as well.
Yeah, it's an incredibly smart front office that they have. They have great player development coaches and staff. So they can get prospects because they're picking super late in the draft. They keep getting pushed back, and they're still able to find talent there. I mean, Will Smith, their starting catcher, was like the 20th pick in the draft. Like everyone else passed on him. They take him, turn him into a stud. They do have that ability to do that. because they got, Andrew Friedman, he was with the Tampa Bay Rays. Mm-hmm. And, he helped build that organization up.
You know who else came from the Tampa Bay Rays?
Matt Arnold. Yeah. Except Matt Arnold does not have $500 million to throw at this team.
No, but what the Brewers have, I know the Dodgers have, and historically, if you want to go back, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, the Dodgers have had so many rookies of the year. They've always had a really good farm system, so it's kind of baked into their DNA.
Yeah.
The Brewers have to have a good farm system. They need to be able to take their prospects. They need to be able to draft well. And when I don't want to speak ill of those that are no longer with us, but when Bruce Side was drafting, didn't do so well.
They had a rough stretch there for like really 10 years. Stretch. Yeah. Like after Jeremy Jeffress, you could say it was a tough go.
Yeah, Jack Zarensik, who built, with his drafts, built that resurgent Brewers team.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun, bing, bang, boom.
And then Bruce. And I like Bruce. Bruce was but just a miserable drafter. And very nice man, but a miserable drafter.
Matt Laporta, Eric Arnett. Dylan Covey didn't sign.
Listen, Matt Laporta got him CC, so he didn't turn out to be a good player, but he was a bad player for the Indians.
Yeah, but I think they were willing to trade him right away because they knew, this guy is not it.
Well, good on Doug Melvin then.
Yeah, like you can tell, it's like once they get him in, it's like, this guy is not.
This guy sucks. What did we do?
If they want to move a guy right away after drafting him, it's generally like, this is not what we were hoping for. But yeah, Eric Arnett, Dylan Covey, Jed Bradley, Taylor Youngman. Youngman at least made it up for a little bit.
They had guys.
Victor Roach, Clint Coulter. I watched them play for the Milwaukee Milkmen a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. So yeah, it was a very, very rough stretch. Cody Medeiros instead of Trey Turner. You had Trey Turner right there for the taking, a college shortstop. No, let's take a high school pitcher, Cody Medeiros instead, who never makes it above AA.
Yep.
Horrendous.
Yep.
Well,
it was pretty bad.
They make up for it in their international signings, and they've done really well.
Yes.
But they drafted better, though, too, in recent years.
Yes, they have drafted better in recent years. You got the Bryce Terangs, the Sal Freliks, the Garrett Mitchells, when he's healthy, of the world. And, Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, draft picks there.
Later round draft picks, too. Corbin Burns was a 4th rounder, I think.
Yeah, Corbin was a 4th rounder. Woodruff was an 11th rounder. Yeah. He did not pitch particularly. Like, you look at his numbers at Mississippi State, they were not particularly great. But the Brewers, he was a reliever mostly. The Brewers turned him into an ace, which was just, incredible. And just, going down the line. And then the international guys, the Brewers signed 22 of them yesterday. So slightly smaller class for the Brewers than normal, what they have. But still, they got Ricky Monies in there, which is one of the best names that they've had. But very, very strong class there. Diego Frantado as well. And let's see, they've got a couple other really intriguing young players in here. I know I'm just kind of stalling for it, but they got a 6'6" left-handed pitcher.
Oh, nice.
At 16 years old.
Right up your alley.
Yeah.
Alexander Johnson. It's Randy Johnson's illegitimate son.
But to be 6'6" at 16 and 200 pounds, that's ridiculous.
Just take care of the arm.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, fun project there. But yeah, 22 players there. So got to find the next Jackson Churio. Jesus Made.
That's what you got to find.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Good stuff, Dave. We'll catch back up with you with another update in less than an hour. I'd say 37 minutes. Coming up in just a few minutes, we've got Matt Lepay, who spent a lot of time alongside Bob Uecker during Matt's time. Well, I guess in the booth next door to Bob, if you will.
Right.
The television booth as opposed to the radio booth, but still travel together, spend a lot of time together, part of the same
sharing
broadcast.
Stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get some thoughts from Matt Lepay coming up a little bit later on, and that also preview tomorrow's Badgers men's basketball game as well at the Kohl Center. And then afterwards, you guys are back on the J&K Security Solutions basketball postgame show on 1310 WIBA in Madison. It's D.N.D. on this Friday, January 16th, 2026. Stay with us on the game.
Because of the doctors.
Cause a dream won't chase you back if you're gonna love somebody. Hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can till you can.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where
Yes,
to
Ben
go.
on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line writes in at 877-794-1973. Fitting today is your last day. It is our last day here on D.N.D. 1 year ago is probably the greatest day the game ever had. You guys were amazing. Doug, I still remember where I was when you broke the news to me. Of course, the 1 year anniversary of the passing of the great Bob Uecker. And yeah, that was tough because I knew that he was sick. I knew how sick he was.
Yeah.
We were prepared, but when the news started to filter through, it was, okay, so this is it. This is it. This is actually happening. And then you just kind of, you go into a different kind of mode because, I've seen this kind of stuff before, of course, and you just kind of go into a different type of mode. You want to let everybody react. You want to kind of, Matt Schneidman was on the air at the time. He was doing an interview with Billy, and I had to come in and tell Billy into the room that I'm sitting in right now. It's like, let him go.
Yeah.
Let Schneidman
got to
go.
wrap it.
We got to, and you were producing at the time.
I was producing. Yeah. I remember because I saw the news and I was, in near tears, or we're practically already in tears. And then you came in and you're like, did you see the news? I'm like, yeah. Like you could see me probably already tearing up. It's like, yep. Okay. You saw the news. All right. You got
take a deep breath.
Yep.
And this is what we do.
Yep. And we went in because that was like late in the 9 o'clock hour, kind of towards the end there. And going into that breaking news. I mean, the final 2 hours of that show, of that No BS show where we broke that news, that 2 hours felt like 6. I mean, it felt like it felt like forever getting through that final show. But I mean, there was just so much to talk about, so many stories to share, people calling in, sharing their stories, texting in, sharing their stories. And just, us going through the raw emotions of that with everyone. Because I mean, like we found out along with everyone else. I mean, we had an idea that he was sick and that this could be coming, but I mean, it's still a shock to the system when it actually happens.
We were ready for, there was a plan that was in place. I mean, I'm not telling any tales out of school or anything like that, when you have prominent individuals in your community and that, they're not doing well, you prepare beforehand. And we were prepared beforehand, but still the shock of the news came. And it was like, okay, well, now we have to shift into a whole different mode. And one of the things that I think made that day for us was you guys, because we canceled everything that we were doing that day. If you were a guest and you weren't talking about Bob Uecker, you got bumped. And sometimes that just happens.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do, and Red Hot and I kind of talked about it a little bit, is like, let's just let you guys tell stories.
Yeah.
And that's, as much as anything else, we facilitated what your remembrances of Bob was. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's credit that goes around, it's I'll give us credit for getting the hell out of the way and letting you guys tell your stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's the power of radio.
Absolutely. And I still remember, and I think I probably told this at the time, but being in the locker room in 2024 after the whole Pete Alonso thing and what happened in game 3 of that wild card series. And like, we're sitting there, like we're doing the interviews as much as we can. And it's such a somber clubhouse, just such a sad scene, very quiet. No one's really saying too much. And then all of a sudden, I think we were talking to Yelich at the time, or maybe it was Adames. But all of a sudden, just in the background, while we're trying to do this interview, I just hear a whole bunch of jokes and laughing. And it's like, who could be laughing at a time like this? I'd turn around and, it's Bob telling some stories, telling some jokes. Even in the hardest, most somber moments, he finds a way to make people laugh. And it's just, I mean, he was the only one who could get away with trying to tell jokes at a time like that.
And the day that I graduated from Buddy, because if you didn't know your name, hey, Buddy.
Yeah.
When I graduated from that to Doogie.
Oh, man. It's a big day.
I can't even put that into words. It was like, it was just, I was just gobsmacked for probably an hour with my jaw on the floor.
Yeah.
That's how much it, it's like, Bob Uecker knows my name.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
That's holy bleep.
Yeah. He did not learn my name. I didn't get a chance to really like talk to him in like the short time I was like in the Brewers clubhouse and being there for that. But I do remember talking with Robert Murray, who's, national insider and was the Brewers beat writer for The Athletic back then. He was telling me it's like one day when he was down there and Uecker comes up to him, he's like, Robbie, baby, how you doing?
Yeah.
Same
thing. Yeah.
And he's just like, literally no one else can call me Robbie. If anyone else calls me Robbie, it's like, no, not doing it. But Bob Uecker calls me Robbie. That's what we're going with. I love that.
I don't particularly like Doogie.
Yeah. But Uke could call you Doogie.
Yeah. You can call me anything you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Lepay certainly knew Bob Uecker well, and he worked.
We actually had him on the show that day.
We did because he's spent 8 years on the Brewers broadcast team with him. We'll talk about that as well as some Badgers basketball stuff coming up on the other side. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
And now the end is near.
It's D.N.D. here on this Friday, plowing into the afternoon. We are talking about the 1-year anniversary of the passing of Bob Uecker, along with, the sports news of the day as well.
Yeah.
Joining us on the program right now, he is the Hall of Fame voice of your Wisconsin Badgers. He is Matt Lepay. Matt, appreciate the time. How are you today?
I'm doing well, guys.
So we're talking about Ueck. You were in the booth for 8 years next to him.
Yes.
When you think about, those times off the air, because that's when you would spend time with him, whether it was on the road or whether, I think he didn't travel much probably while you were there, but maybe the games at American Family Field. I mean, you got insights that probably not a lot of other people got while you were there. What do you remember most about your time with him?
His energy at the ballpark. And the first few years I was filling in for Brian Anderson, Ueck was on a lot of the road trips, and then, fewer and fewer, obviously, through the ensuing years. But going to the ballpark for him was a jolt of energy. You could tell that. I remember those first couple of years where, I would hop off the Badger basketball train and fill in with the Brewers. There'd be some days where I felt like I was dragging, and then I would see him bouncing around all over the clubhouse and at the batting cage and all of that. And I'd thinking, well, it's like, maybe I need to get over it here and try to have that Bob has. But you could tell as many things, and I know he talked about it a lot in any number of interviews, as many other things as he got to do, from the movies to the television to Mr. Belvedere and all this, the Tonight Show. Baseball was the ultimate for him. And, he didn't have to be in Milwaukee his entire, career, his entire life, but he chose to, and lucky for us. So, yeah. And so not breaking news here, the funniest human being I think any of us will have ever met. So it did kind of hit me again like a jolt today that, oh yeah, that's right. It was 1 year ago. I mean, those of us who knew that it was, he was in a tough spot. Even the day that you get that news that he had passed was still a really tough jolt for everybody. And for me, I was the filling guy. Some years it could be 30, 35 games, and at most 55 to 60. So I was there, I was gone, I was there, I was gone. But I always feel like for you guys like Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle,
right,
and just the emotion on Lev's voice at the end of that after the Mets game, you feel for everybody who was around him on a daily basis. But at the same time, I just think how unbelievably lucky we have been. Those of us who knew Bob for sure, but I think an entire Brewers Nation knows him, right? And so we're lucky to have had him for as long as we did, calling games and making bad games good and good games epic. There are very, no one, I was going to say there were very few who have that gift. No one had the gift the way Bob did. So we were lucky to be the recipients of that for as long as we were able to get that gift.
Bit of a hard pivot from Ueck to the Badgers men's basketball team, but on the call, of course, for what was one of those legendary moments as John Blackwell knocks down the game winner over Minnesota, an improved Minnesota team. I think a win over them means a little bit more than it has in the past. The Badgers on a 3-game win streak, looking to carry that into tomorrow's matchup with Rutgers. Where do you stand on this team as hopefully we feel like they found an identity now here in January?
Well, they still know they have to get better. Defensively, it's been up and down. The shooting, you saw that from the first half to the second half. They were 4-15 from the three-point line in the first half, and much, much better in the second half, leading up to the buzzer beater from Blackwell. But they'll tell you they're a work in progress still. It looked for a time they were getting better defensively, and then Minnesota is a good team. Their assist ratio their assist rate, I should say, is the best in college basketball. 75% of their baskets have an assist attached to it. So they make you defend for the entirety of the shot clock. And that Wisconsin struggled with that, particularly in the first half. Got a little bit better in the second half of that game, but still to find ways when they have a stretch that isn't great, You don't see them in panic mode. I mean, last Saturday, they're down 14 against Michigan. Michigan can, sleepwalk and go up 14 on most teams, as we have seen this year. And you're thinking, oh boy, here we go. But they weren't playing poorly. Butchie mentioned that. Like in that timeout was 31-17. He said, they're not playing badly. Just stick with it. And the team, I think, felt the same way, more importantly, and they were able to come back and obviously win that game and then follow it up. But it shows you that, that tightrope that everybody deals with here in sports. If JB misses that shot, the game goes to overtime and they lose, we have a pretty good idea of what the reaction would be. But they win it and it's like, wow, they've won 3 in a row. They're 4-2 and a chance to, keep it rolling against Rutgers. So I think as long as the team recognizes that, and I believe it does, then it'll have every chance to continue to get better. And on nights where the 3-point shot isn't great, they'll be better defensively to give themselves the best chance to win.
Yeah, and then they'll have the nights where they get the contributions from Steph Curry, Braden Carrington, that he had drilling 7 threes. I mean, that's an incredible contribution to get off the bench from him, because I mean, he's someone who, I mean, he's basically almost exclusively a 3-point shooter. But I mean, to get the contributions that they got from him going to a bit of a smaller lineup, I mean, that just kind of speaks a bit more to the depth of this team, Matt.
Yeah, I talked with Braden yesterday, sat down and did a TV interview with him, and I asked him what it was like going back into that building where he had been a Gopher for 2 years, was at Tulsa last year, and he said it was, it was emotional. It was weird. I did the Michigan game. It was like, okay, another day, and you're going to play the second-ranked team in the country, but the feelings were much stronger for the obvious reasons going into Williams Arena, and to hit 2 threes early. And then he chucked up an air ball, and the crowd was on him. And then he hits a 3rd three, a 4th three, and, all the way to 7 3-point shots to a career high 21 points. And you could tell the game had tremendous meaning to him, and credit to him, even, beyond that game. He takes a lot of pride in the 10 points, 9 rebounds he had at Michigan. That was really important in that game against the Wolverines. But, it wasn't that many weeks ago. He was banged up. He'd had a couple little injuries he was dealing with and wasn't playing particularly well. And it was kind of getting out of sight, out of mind. But credit to him for sticking with it, fighting back, getting through the injuries, and getting back into the rotation. I mean, he's one of those guys who you need. We know about Blackwell. We know about Nolan Winter and Nick Boyd, but you need those guys like a Braden Carrington who, if he has another game like he had offensively on Tuesday, great. But, get rebounds, defend, do all that stuff. And those are the, particularly the defensive side, that was one of the big reasons that these guys brought him in.
Voice of the Badgers, Matt Lepay, joining us here on D.N.D. So the Badgers have already had, Nebraska. They've already played Purdue. They've already played at and beat number 2 Michigan. You got Rutgers tomorrow, of course. Then it's Penn State, USC, Minnesota, Ohio State, Indiana. There's some real opportunities before you hit the next really tough team in Illinois. And that's, that February 10th is the next time you've got, a really, really good team in front of you. You don't want to take anybody for granted, but there's some real opportunities here.
Yeah, it's a big stretch. You can't really deny that. As Greg Gard's talked about his team, their best is really good. Their worst is really bad. So that as long as they understand that, it's like, okay, people are going to tell you should win tomorrow and so on and so forth, but you better bring it, because when these guys have lost, it's been pretty lopsided, to say the least. So you look at this, and Penn State's given them a problem. By the way, Penn State's beaten Wisconsin the last couple of meetings. Now the roster is different and year to year, but after that, they do have the 3-game homestand, and in February they're home 2 times. So you need to start, you need to stack wins as best you possibly can here over these next couple of weeks, because you go to Illinois, you go to Indiana, they'll make a trip to Columbus, and then the Pacific Northwest trip. So it's going to be, they're going to be on the road a lot. So you want to take advantage. They've only lost the 1 home game, and that was when Purdue came in here. You absolutely want to protect the home court, and still one of the hallmarks of this program, their road record's pretty good under Greg Gard. It was really good under Bo Ryan. You still need to get your fair share on the road, but these home games are really critical.
Matt, we got about a minute or two left with you. I just want to get your take on baseball, Major League Baseball as a whole. We've been discussing it throughout the show. Kyle Tucker gets another massive deal. The Dodgers continue to spend money that other teams don't or can't. You think baseball is in trouble? A lockout looming?
Yeah, I think a lockout is looming for sure. Baseball it's college sports. Only worse because you have the ability to do that. What the Dodgers did, there's nothing wrong with it because you're allowed to do that. So you have the resources, go write big checks, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But for competitive balance, I mean, there's a reason the NFL does really well. We like to watch violence, we like to gamble on it, so we love watching football.
Right.
But there is a competitive. Even the Cincinnati Bengals can get to a Super Bowl, right? If things line up, it's pretty hard to do it with smoke and mirrors in baseball. Credit to the Brewers for doing as well as they have for as long as they have without a budget that matches up in any way with, the Dodgers, the Yankees, all the predictables. But I fear, and maybe it's the way you have to go, is to have a work stoppage. But I just know too many people who are going to be affected by that. So I'm hoping that they can figure this out before. But I think everyone is bracing for at the end of the World Series in October. That might be the last Major League Baseball we see for a while. And maybe if that's what it takes to, if it's a cap and a floor, I just think it's going to be a hard thing to get the Players Association to go for. Hopefully they can do it because it's ridiculous. But again, I can't blame the Dodgers. I don't hate the player. I just don't like the system.
Yeah, the system it's broken, and we're trying to fix it in the next 2 hours or so. Maybe Dave will be the next.
Make me commissioner. Doug's going to be NCAA president, and we're going to fix these places
because we're gonna do the whole dictator thing. I know my head's going to wind up on a spit. Yeah, it's
my head's already there. So
Matt, we appreciate everything you've done for us on the show, and we'll airtime tomorrow's at 12:30. Tip off at 1:00. The Badgers taking on Rutgers at the Kohl Center. We will talk again soon, my friend.
All right, boys. Good luck to all you guys. Take care.
All right, you too. There he goes, Matt Lepay joining us here one last time on D.N.D. We're at halftime. 2 more hours to go. Dave's got an update coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us on the game.
Much more than this, I
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the rich get richer in Major League Baseball as we got some big signings going on. Obviously, Kyle Tucker happened last night. 4 years, $240 million to the Dodgers as Doug starts the drinking. That's Nick.
That's Nick once again with the Irish Crickets at noon. Why? Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's the last day. I'm not even going to disclose what I'm drinking. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. What does it matter? This is going to be a fun final 2 hours of the show. They can put rum in Diet Coke. So Kyle Tucker goes to the Dodgers, and just recently here, Bo Bichette to the New York Mets on a 3-year, $126 million deal. Do the math, that's $42 million a season. He gets opt-out after each year. So it's a series of 1-year deals, and he will play third base for the Mets. Very similar deal to Alex Bregman last year, who signed for 3 years, $120. So just a little bit more than that. So that's the big signing there in Major League Baseball. As this offseason is now finally moving. We saw Ranger Suarez sign the other day. Now Kyle Tucker is gone. Now Bo Bichette's gone. So Scott Boris's guys are getting signed. They're going off the market. And, now we can see the rest of this market finally move, and other teams can make their additions now that the top guys have signed. So Brewers still could use, maybe a right-handed relief pitcher, maybe a backup catcher. Yeah. So it's like you're looking at adding on the fringes, and the Dodgers just like, we'll just get Kyle Tucker. Why not?
Yeah. Good.
Do we need him? No. Are we going to get him and pay him $60 million a year? Yeah. Why not?
I mean, like I said, we haven't reached the tipping point yet because the Dodgers are winning. Dodger Stadium is still relatively full if fans can actually get to the stadium. Traffic famously in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Challenging, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's a good word.
You ever been to Dodger Stadium?
No.
Not the easiest place in the world to get to, but you look at it, it's like, it's right downtown. Yeah, but there's kind of...
Yeah, about that.
It's you have to kind of drive through a mountain to get to wherever you're seated. And the other part of it that's kind of cool about Dodger Stadium is that you park on the level that your tickets are for. So if you
because the parking lot's at like the top level, like the surface parking lot, because it's like into the ravine.
It's into the ravine. So yes and no. You can drive to the top of the stadium and then walk in and walk down. But if you're on like on the what the mezzanine would be, you park on the mezzanine level because it's built into a hill. So you park there and then you just walk in. So you don't have to go up or down at all. So you don't park at the top and go down.
Super fancy.
You park on the level when you build it into a mountain.
Yeah.
But if you're in the bleachers, you park on that level as well.
Yeah.
And then it's just straight up.
So all the celebrities get to park underneath, when they go to those games.
Yeah.
And we see, here's Rob Lowe. Here's this celebrity. Here's that celebrity.
Here's Rob Lowe in a Major League Baseball hat.
Yeah. Carrying the shield, as he does. I just hope both teams have fun.
Yeah. I hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. So he's Dodgers get more winning there. Meanwhile, again, we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the death of the great Bob Uecker.
Celebrating.
Okay,
we're not celebrating the death.
We're
celebrating the life.
We're remembering
the life. Remembering. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
Nick. I know. I'm just
how much of that
you,
of those
Nick,
Irish crickets have you started drinking already?
No, I will say this, Nick. You were saying what everybody else was thinking.
Yeah.
Today we are celebrating.
We are celebrating the death.
Celebrating the life.
We are celebrating the life on the 1-year anniversary of the passing of.
Okay.
And from my limited, certainly you guys have a far greater appreciation, just lifelong fans, listeners of Bob. But I think Bob would think that'd be funny that you said.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, he'd love it.
Bob would be the first person who would just absolutely chortle at that. He'd be
like, you should be celebrating.
Yeah. That's right. It's like people have been trying to celebrate that for a long time. Bob would absolutely appreciate that.
Yeah,
I have no question.
Absolutely. Just as he appreciates some things going just a bit outside.
Top of the 6th, and rookie sensation Ricky Vaughn on the pitch now. You can close the book on Kelder.
Thank God. Relax. We're only 4 runs now. We're still in this game. You take it to him? Oh, all right. Look, man, guy gets a second, first sign indicator.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his Major League debut. Vaughn into the windup in his first offering.
just a bit outside. He
Hits
tried
the
to corner and
backstop.
missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?
How can they all pitches that close? Just incredible. And when I was doing baseball play-by-play for the lacrosse loggers back in the day, I did borrow a just a bit outside once or twice when someone hit the backstop because some of those college pitchers, I mean, they were really struggling to find the zone.
I don't know how these batters are laying off these pitches that are so close.
Just incredible. Like just subtly dropping that in there.
Basically what they did was David Ward, the director of the movie, said just be Bob, just be you.
Yeah.
You know, you can
he didn't have a script.
No, just dial it up a little bit, but I mean, this is kind of the framework of what we were looking at. Yeah, there wasn't a script for Bob. It was just do you.
Yeah.
And
it was gold.
And it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was. Now, if you ask Bob about Major League 3 back to the minors.
Yeah. That's why I pulled from Major League 1.
He would be the first one to tell you he showed up for the paycheck on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like, this script is terrible.
That was a terrible movie.
I've never seen it.
I have, and it was awful.
Yeah.
It was. So nowadays things go straight to Netflix all the time.
Yeah.
But
that would have been straight to Netflix.
No, I don't even know if it would have gotten Netflix picked up.
It would have gone straight to DVD and straight to the clearance DVD bin.
Straight to Tubi.
Yeah, there you go. Probably would have gone
straight to
there.
Fubo.
Because straight to DVD back in that era, I mean, that meant that the movie sucked.
Yeah.
There were a lot of American Pies that never saw the light of day because like American Pie Bandcamp or American Pie The Naked Mile that had Eugene Levy in it, and he was the only thread to the original American Pie movies, and they went straight to DVD. Why? Because they were awful movies.
Yeah.
Of course, I have them all on DVD, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, of course. It's minor sidebar. Yeah. But it was Major League, just an absolutely fantastic movie. So quotable as well. Kind of looking around the coaching carousel here. Jeff Hafley, he was originally scheduled to have his Steelers interview today. Turns out his interview has been moved to tomorrow for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's per Tom Pelissero.
Okay. You know who else is getting interviews is LaFleur. He's getting interviews. He's got an interview with the Cardinals, and he's got an interview scheduled with the Raiders as well.
Mike LaFleur?
Mike LaFleur.
Ah, yes. Yes, of course.
After the Rams are done, whenever that is. And I hope they're not done for another week.
It's very interesting. And Clay and Clint Kubiak are both being interviewed in this coaching cycle. I've seen some funny ones where it's like, you're interviewing the wrong one. Do you know you're interviewing the wrong one?
I assume that's Gary Kubiak's.
Those are his boys.
Yeah, those are his kids.
So I covered Kubes when he was in Houston, when he was the head coach there. I enjoyed covering him. He's good. He's a good coach.
He's a good coach. Good coach.
Yeah.
He's a coach.
I think he would have coached for much longer if he didn't deal with the health issues that he did at his end of his tenure with Denver, where he had to retire early.
Well, he had a heart attack, I think, like on the field when he was with the Texans near the end of it. But fortunately, there's a hospital like right next to the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were able to, and it's a world-class hospital too. It's not right next to the stadium, but it's pretty close to it.
The level 1 trauma and whatnot.
Yeah. The whole shebang. And they were obviously, I mean, he's still with us. So, but good coach, really good guy to be around as well. So I'm not surprised that his boys are coaching.
Yeah. So they're getting interviews for jobs, and we'll see how many more of these openings get filled in the next couple of days here. Also, we'll talk about this with Nick Osen a little bit later on, but the Badgers were able to get themselves another transfer player, Liam Danitz from Hope College. That's Division III Hope College in Michigan. And this guy, Liam Danitz, a 10.55 second 100-yard dash, a 20.92 second 200-yard dash, and
what's he doing at Division III?
I don't know. He was doing football and track, I believe. And those numbers, those 100-yard and 200-yard dash numbers, are faster than the Badgers' actual track team's best numbers.
So what position does he play?
Edge rusher.
He's an edge rusher who
runs
like a wide receiver.
Yes, he's 6'5",
What is
230.
he doing in Division III? Is he undersized?
He's 6'5", 230 pounds.
So probably needs
21 tackles for loss, 15 sacks last season. Now again,
it's probably add some muscle then if he's that tall and that light.
Here's this guy. He's very fast and he has the right build. Well, what's wrong with him? He doesn't know what team he's on. Like, there's got to be something wrong with him. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory way.
But he was getting a ton of D1 offers, and the Badgers got him.
Well,
good for us.
I'm going to ask. I can't wait to ask Nick about this.
Yeah.
So there's something that doesn't add up. I think he probably, if he's 6'5", 230, probably needs to get in the weight room a little bit to be an edge rusher in the Big Ten.
In the Big Ten, yeah. But he's got speed.
They'll beef him up.
He's got strength, yeah.
He does look like
get this guy some whey protein. He does look like a
safety. Like he physically in his pictures, he looks like a safety. So I mean, yeah, get him some of that. Whatever they feed these boys,
whey protein, some cheese.
Yeah, I don't know.
All the things.
Yeah,
he is an interesting.
He's
prospect.
a freak athlete, is what it is. So like you get a freak athlete, and you can work the rest from there. So that's kind of the hope. But yeah, another transfer addition for the Badgers. That brings them up to 28 transfers now.
Well, when you lose Joe Brunner to Indiana.
Yeah, and Preston Zachman to Indiana.
And
you lose Dylan Jones to LSU.
Not great. Don't love that.
It happens.
I don't like it when guys leave your program to go somewhere bigger, that's when you kind of looks like, okay.
Yeah. Christian Allegro to Ohio State. I think that's more kind of the
if you're gonna leave to go to Hope College, for example, if you're gonna leave Wisconsin and you're gonna go to
Kyan Barry Johnson is
Southern Indiana, whatever.
Kyan Barry Johnson, wide receiver for the Badgers, transferring to Sam Houston.
Yeah, okay.
He's going to join Longo over there. Remington Moss, safety, is transferring to Elon.
It happens.
Angel Toombs to Jack State.
Yeah, but I don't love it.
You don't have to love it.
I can have an opinion and I love it.
No, but when it comes to Allegro, I think that it's just unfortunate results of having two guys that you have great confidence in moving forward that were elite true freshmen, and just trying to divvy your money where you can kind of build a roster out.
And also
Brunner sucks though. That blows. I mean, to lose him, he's a guy that said, I will play my entire career here.
Yeah.
And then he's not.
And Tucker Ashcraft, another one of those recruits that you thought was going to be really good. He transfers and has chosen USC.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
So Doug still gets to root for Tucker Ashcraft.
I still get to root for Tucker Ashcraft, so I'm happy about that.
Tucker Ashcraft, Tucker Kraft. I mean, either way, you get to root for these guys. They're just.
He was getting confused, so it's like same position, very similar name.
Yeah,
same state. This is a problem.
Yeah,
he's
right on.
He's a Washington native. Ashcraft is so much closer to home in California now. But he couldn't stay healthy and just never ended up working out the way that they anticipated it would here. And that tight end position, they've got some young guys that they're pretty confident in moving forward. So we will see what's next for them in that spot. But I'm feeling pretty inspired by the number, at least, of players that have decided to come to Wisconsin and some of the caliber of programs that they're leaving to come here.
True.
I mean, just by nature, you see a cornerback West come from Ohio State, and you're like, it's got an Ohio State cornerback. Now it's a matter of building off that. Jaden Ballard, we had a similar feeling last year. I immediately tweeted out when we got Jaden Ballard, I'm like, is this real life? I can't believe this. And then Mike texted me. He's like, dude, look at his stats. I was like, 13 career catches. So I deleted the tweet,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like,
I don't know.
You look at all the guys that have been brought in from USC. I mean, Tucker Ashcraft is going to USC, but the players that the Badgers have brought in from USC, none of them worked out. TJ Williams didn't work out. Zach Curtis didn't work out.
Well, don't say that. We got a third. We just got a running back. So
Alex Grinch didn't work out.
Yeah,
he wasn't a player, but
the third time's the charm from a player perspective.
Okay,
with
hopefully
the running back this year.
Ideally. Also, just seeing this. I mean, this is from Bob Nightingale. But on the Bo Bichette news, apparently the Phillies had agreed to Bichette's request for a 7-year, $200 million deal last night and thought they were getting him. And then the Mets came in with 3 years, 126. Ooh. And he instead goes over there. So he goes to the other team in the division in the NL East over there. Wow. 7 years, 200 instead, 3 for 126. So half the years, but less than half the years, more than half the money.
Did Dante play for any of these teams?
Dante Bichette?
He played for the Rockies. He played for the Brewers. Who else did Dante Bichette play for?
Let's see.
Angels, Brewers, Rockies, Reds, Red Sox. So I wasn't sure if there was some familial, you got a connection to the Mets here. I mean, you're making more money. He can hit the free agency next offseason. So,
or the offseason after that.
The thing about Dante Bichette is when he was with the Brewers, they were so god-awful.
Yeah, those 1991 and 92 were the years
92 they weren't bad. 92 they were okay.
They had Pat Listash
West Palm Beach native Dante Bichette. How about that?
Okay.
92 he hit 287 that year.
Yeah, he was a good player, and then he went to the Rockies and got really good.
Yeah, amazing how playing in the thin air up there makes someone better offensively because, the year before for the Brewers hit 287, 5 homers, and next thing you know, goes to the Rockies and 310, 21 homers, 304, 27 homers, 340, 40 homers in 1995.
Good player.
The Brewers really fell off the table after the 92 season. After that, it was like they were bad for a long time.
Yeah.
They were just awful. It was brutal baseball to watch.
Scrap iron had basically scrap iron to work with.
Well, I mean, he was when he first got there, he took over for Treb, and they had a good season.
Yeah.
And there was like, Phil Garner's going to be great. And I don't think it was his fault. It was when you were starting to see
they had no
revenue disparity after Robin Yount retired, and that whole era kind of moved on. Paul Molitor moved on.
Yeah.
They didn't have any pitching. I mean, Cal Eldred was a good pitcher. He was the best you had.
Yeah.
They had a couple of guys. I mean, 1 year, Rafael Roque was your opening day starting pitcher, for God's sakes.
Ugh. This past year we had Elvin Rodriguez starting the home opener.
No, I mean like opening day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even still.
Yeah.
But
so, I mean, Matt Mieske, your starting right fielder. I mean,
man,
those are some lean years.
Yeah.
And it showed at the box office.
Yes, it did. And then
plenty of room for you out here, folks.
Yep. Pick your own section night.
Yeah, it really was. It was pretty bad baseball. But.
Yeah. And pick your own section night is what we could be returning to soon with the Milwaukee Bucks as they lost last night again, 119-101 to the San Antonio Spurs.
God, they're getting irrelevant fast, and that's what sucks. I mean, they're just getting their asses kicked. When they lose, they absolutely get their asses kicked.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's not even competitive games where it's like, one thing here or there. I mean, they did have the one New Year's Eve where it's like, okay, they kind of lose at the end because they just kind of fumbled it at the end of the game. And then, of course, Doc Rivers says, like, I don't really care about the end of the game. It's all this other stuff that we did wrong. I'm like, okay, but the end of the game is kind of important there, Doc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
sure is.
Yeah, sure is. So,
famously,
you kind of need to close there. Also, just kind of a side note here for football coming up this weekend. Sam Darnold is expecting to play this weekend for Seattle, despite now having an oblique injury that has popped up that has him listed as questionable.
Interesting.
So he felt a little something in his left side.
Well, they got the Niners
while throwing during a period in practice and left as a precautionary measure.
And I got the Niners tomorrow. So we got both number 1 seeds playing, the Broncos and the Bills, and then the Seahawks and the 49ers. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know that maybe we get into this. You know, do you have a rooting interest now that the Packers are out? Because after the Packers got bounced by the Bears, there was a certain, I guess, period of mourning, if you will, about, all right, well, they're not going to go as far as any of us had hoped. They lost to the Bears in just the worst way possible. It just felt like, once again, Wisconsin sports fans getting kicked in the nuts. But, time heals all wounds, as they say. And they've got, some pretty compelling games this weekend, including the Bears and the Rams.
Yeah.
On
Go
Sunday
Rams.
night. Go Rams. I mean, that's my rooting interest, but I kind of would like to see the Bills
I think everybody would
kind of finally
get over the hump.
Yeah. They've been so good for so long. And they haven't been able to get past Kansas City. Well, Kansas City wasn't very good this year. So is it the changing of the guard, if you will, in the AFC? Because Josh Allen has been very good. The Bills have been very good. But, again, put up or shut up. And you can't call yourself elite if you just never get over that hump. This might be their year, even though they didn't have a great regular season. And they've got their backs up against the wall against an upstart Broncos team that did everything right this year.
Yeah, and they got Bo Nix, who, everyone at the time was kind of like, really? Bo Nix at this point in the draft? What are you guys, crazy? And Bo Nix has turned out to be pretty darn good.
Well, he spent 13 years in college football.
Yeah,
so
that does help. He got plenty of reps in there.
It can help, yes, but it also maybe can hurt as well. I mean, sometimes these guys are so old they get to the NFL level that, the teams don't give them the long enough runway to work.
Yeah, but I mean, you spend that much time in college football, it's like you should be able to hit the ground running. You shouldn't need quite as much build-up time. So, but yeah, I'd like to see the Bills get there. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't want to see the Patriots get there. They have had way too long of a run of success. I would like to see them kind of not make it for a little bit. So yeah, Bills, Rams. That's what I'm rooting for, I guess.
Be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be good. Yeah, as long as it's not the Bears.
Just anything but the Bears.
We can't have that.
Please, anything but the Bears.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was Bills, Seahawks, and we got to see Sam Darnold excel at the highest level?
I'd love that.
The Vikings just let him walk out the door.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I would love that, and I would wear all USC garb for the entire Super Bowl. Fight on, Sam Darnold.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess essentially, I'm rooting for the Bills first and foremost. Like that would be my team. I would want to win the championship, and then after that, it becomes questionable. I'm all in on the Bills.
My cousin Greg went to Wyoming, so he's a big Josh Allen fan.
Yeah,
who did?
My cousin Greg. He went to Wyoming.
Oh, yeah, Greg Russell.
Yeah, of Riverside, California.
That's nice. That's a good name, Greg Russell.
I'll let him know.
Got to let his parents know. Got to let your Aunt Norma know.
I'll let Uncle Ken and Aunt Norma know too.
Yeah. Great job naming him.
A Broncos fan?
Yeah, that's Uncle Ken. He's a Broncos fan. Yeah.
So there's a Broncos fan.
You remember look at that memory, that steel trap. You say you don't remember anything, Nick.
Yeah.
I remember stuff like that.
Movie quotes, but you remember Doug's aunts and uncles.
I'm supposed to remember a movie quote over like a one quick hitting fact. I feel like the
about
quick hitter fact of Uncle being a Broncos fan. Well, we talked about it at length on the show when they were playing one another.
Nick, I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
I just don't think people remember movie quotes.
Yes, they do.
They kind of do, but that's okay.
Especially because we watch these movies over and over and over again.
You remember Uncle Ken, who lives in New Mexico, who's a Broncos fan because he grew up when you grow up in Nebraska, when you grow up in Western Nebraska, the closest thing to a city is Denver. So
yeah,
it makes you, if you're a sports fan, a Broncos fan. So
that makes sense.
Shout out to Uncle Ken.
Also makes him, unfortunately, a Rockies fan. Yeah. That's a tough scene.
He's more of but the Rockies weren't a team when he was younger.
Right.
So he was more of a Royals fan.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So
that's still probably mostly not funny either.
Well, they had George Brett back in the day.
Well, back in the day, they were a really good team in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
They were a really, really good team.
My first thought of George Brett is there's
the Pine Tar incident.
Not Pine Tar, but I think it was like shrimp in Las Vegas. And long story short, he had to get a new pair of pants. He was telling a story mic'd up at spring training.
You know what?
About having a rough night in Las Vegas and eating something that didn't agree with him.
Do you know what George Brett, when he was a player, when I was a kid, you know what he was best known for? And it wasn't the Pine Tar incident.
What?
Hemorrhoids.
Well,
this guy's had some real
he's got some problems.
No, seriously. He was afflicted with hemorrhoids. And that's the one thing that he was. If you were at a baseball game, if you were at a Royals game, and you would hear almost regularly, "Hey, hemorrhoid," and they were talking about number 5.
The nicknames you can get in a baseball locker room.
Apparently incredible. It happened in the lobby of the Bellagio.
So. Oh yes, yeah.
With those glass blown, the glass blown sculpture on the ceiling, which I think was designed and installed by a University of Wisconsin grad. I think I heard that. That thing's like $12 million. It's worth $12 million.
Wow.
Those that glass blown sculpture in the lobby of the Bellagio.
Okay.
I wonder if the same person did the ones at the Kohl Center.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is the same person. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Is that also worth $12 million?
Well, it's more spread out at the Kohl
Don't
Center.
get any ideas.
Where did it go?
Yeah.
What happened to the glass sculpture?
Yeah.
Why is that guy carrying a giant duffel bag?
He's just so he's just so tall.
That's right.
He doesn't blend in very well, does he? He kind of sticks out like a sore thumb.
Is it one of the basketball players on the team? Coach Gar, can you take a look at this?
Did you give one of your players the sculpture?
What? No. What?
Wait a minute. Why is it on eBay?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
How did it get there?
Yes, I do believe it is the same artist that did that.
Very cool. Yeah. You guys will have to look at this George Brett story sometime. It's
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
All right. Joe in Pike Lake writes in, speaking of things that we didn't necessarily know, noted wife beater Dante Bichette. Bo has no relationship with him.
Yeah, Dante Jr. Stated some claims a couple years ago about his dad physically abusing him if he didn't play well in baseball games.
Ooh, that's
maybe
hard.
beating up coaches or fighting coaches. You know, it's steroid era. You know what I mean? He wasn't good enough to get caught. That's just, he's probably just living out the life now post steroids that roid rage and different issues they can develop. So not excusing it. Bad guy. Unfortunately, I brought up a bad guy.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Man. Bad guy. Well, listen, you don't have to be a sports person to be a bad guy.
All-time name, though. I mean,
well, yeah,
Dante Bichette.
Yeah, your last name sounds like something you can't say on the radio.
Yeah.
What is that word?
Bichette.
Biscuit?
Yeah.
That's what
it is.
Totally, Nick.
All right, we'll spin through the talking tech. Did we cover all the ground that we needed to cover there, Dave?
Yes.
All right. Coming on the other side, we will spin through the talk and text line. Also coming up later on in this hour, one of the things that made Bob Uecker a household name throughout the entire country, because we knew him here in Milwaukee, and even if you were a Brewers fan back in those early days and you were listening to his early broadcasts, that's not what made him famous. What made him famous was The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Got a short excerpt of one of his appearances, and we'll hit that coming up in just a few minutes as well. Keep them coming on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line, 877-794-1973. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
It's been a long day.
Good grief.
Without you, my friend.
My God.
George Brett to his pants.
That was not the connection I was expecting.
Well,
there.
that's the connection you got.
Ate some bad crab, I guess. I was just watching it over again.
Yeah.
Good grief.
He's telling his teammate who absolutely did not want to hear this story.
Do you think anyone wanted to hear that story?
It's a pretty funny story.
It's a funny story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Poop is funny.
Yeah.
It's just
Like,
and when it happens to yourself, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's always funnier when it happens to somebody else.
Listen, there's a reason. There's a reason that I've always kept like an extra set of clothes, like in a drawer of my desk. It's like, you never know.
You never know. That's why we always pack like 3 extra pairs of underwear whenever you go on vacation, because you never know. You just might have that accident happen every single day when you're on vacation.
Well, it depends on how long you're gone. I mean,
yeah.
Listen, do you pack extra underwear when you go on vacation? Because I do.
I mean, yeah, sometimes, normally pack like 1 extra, like just in case, like a second.
Depends on how long you're gone.
I'm going to grab 15 pairs and just throw them in the suitcase.
Just throw every piece of underwear that I have. I don't have room for shirts or pants or anything else. I'm just having all underwear.
I don't like to think about what I'm going to pack. So I just grab as much as possible and jam it in there. And then I have excess.
That's a bold strategy there, Cotton.
Yeah.
Why do I not have any shirts?
Yeah.
But I've got 12 mismatched socks.
Yeah.
I bring plenty of everything. It's like
Are you an overpacker like a woman?
I don't like your tone.
Like a woman.
I'm sorry. I love my wife.
What's wrong with?
Yeah.
I love women.
Overpacks so badly every time we go somewhere.
Yeah. Basically, every single one that I've known is an overpacker.
Every woman I've ever known or traveled with in my life has been an overpacker.
Yeah.
I guess I have a feminine tendency in that regard.
Okay. We're gonna save that clip.
It's 12:34. Men
Yeah,
can like things that women like.
You're
okay?
right. You're right. I'm just asking you if you're an overpacker.
Yeah. Nick admitting he played with Barbie dolls as a young kid.
No, got to do what you got to do.
Mailman. Oh, I would. I had an older sister. I would try and participate.
I've got 2. I don't have an overpacking tendency like that.
Well, you just challenged me on the Barbie thing. Okay, I would play Barbies with my sister all the time. And she didn't always like how I did it. She'd be like, "Nah, that's not." I want to name him Hank. No, his name's not going to be Hank.
And we're getting gold on the last show here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We are.
Doesn't have to be on this platform. It's the last show. Who knows, right? I mean, we could always go another direction. But I played Barbies. I was fine with it. I read Teen Vogue. I was fine with that. I guess I was always comfortable in my masculinity.
That's okay.
As a 8-year-old boy,
Nick,
sitting cross-legged on my sister's bed, reading her Teen Vogue magazines, her whatever magazines.
I admire someone who's comfortable enough in their masculinity that's
a way to put it.
That can wear that. No, seriously, that can wear that, because there's that's such a girl thing. I was just making fun of because there is most of the time. Like I said, every woman that I've ever known or traveled with has been an overpacker. And my wife, who I love dearly, love of my life, overpacks like you would not believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, she doesn't wear half the stuff that she brings when we go on vacation.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Is it overpacking if it fits? That's my question, right? I mean, if you're able to get the suitcase closed, I just think you're being cautious.
Okay. I mean, that's
the way you're looking at it.
As long as you don't go over 50 pounds and it's going to cost you an extra $75
to check it. Yeah.
At the gate.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's fine.
I went to DC once and I got a mini DC figurine for my mom, like a memento.
Yes,
and it had the Washington Monument in the middle, and so they had to pull me to the side and check if I had a blunt object as a weapon. That was the first time I had flown since I was 5, and I was 20 or 18, and I was like, oh
my God, it's TSA. Oh my God, it's TSA.
It's not a knife.
Yeah.
You guys have no concept, because before 9/11, there was no TSA. There was, I mean, you had to go through a metal detector, and that was about it. But you also didn't need a ticket to go to the gate, though, either.
Yeah.
You could just,
that's where, all these TV shows where it's like, I run into the gate to save the love of my life. And it's like, Wait, you can do that. You got to stop at security now.
You got to buy a ticket now.
You have to buy a ticket. I used to have to go through the metal detector, so there was always a metal detector. And when I say always, as long as I think the first flight I ever took was 1977 or 78, and I believe there was a metal detector then.
Okay.
So as long as I remember flying, there's been a metal. But you didn't need a ticket to go to the gate. If you wanted to go and watch planes take off and land for hours on end, you were able to do that.
Yeah. And now they got like a parking lot where you can like view the planes taking off and whatnot, but it's like all like far away.
There's like the cell phone lot.
Yeah, they got the cell phone lot, but I think they also just have like a plane spotting, like plane watching spot. Yeah,
Mitchell.
I think so.
They have it in Madison too.
I don't know if they have one in Madison, but I think they got one at Mitchell, and they got one in Minneapolis as well. One time when I went up there last year, I just kind of hung out there for a little bit because I was supposed to be like visiting with my buddy, but he still like had to be at work, and I couldn't get into like his place, so it's like I had like an hour or so to kill. So I'm just like, all right,
I'm just sitting out here watching airplanes.
Exactly. And I was
listening to
playing Gary Allen on my car radio. Exactly. Because
over and over again.
What else would you do? Yeah.
So I've got a 3-hour layover coming up next month in Los Angeles. And I told my buddy who lives in LA, it's like, hey, if you want to, pop on down, we can have some dinner or something.
Yeah.
And then I told him what time it was because the layover's at like 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to pass on that one, but thanks.
Yeah. Driving down there at that time of night? No, thank you.
It's like, you want to have dinner at 10:30 at the airport?
Yeah.
We're going to pass. That's okay. But maybe next time you've got a 3-hour layover. He doesn't live that far from LAX. It wouldn't be that hard. I mean, it would probably be about a 20-25 minute drive.
Oh, wow.
From his house, especially that's
and he lives right across the street.
Well, it depends. LA traffic depends on what time of day it is.
Yeah.
Because morning drive and afternoon drive, like say Friday afternoon traffic starts on Friday morning and it
never stops.
Never subsides.
Yeah.
And Monday morning traffic starts at about midnight on Sunday. And, it kind of ramps up. But it's not always terrible. But trying to get to a Dodgers game, we were talking about Dodgers games earlier, about how difficult it is. And that's why, Kirk Gibson's famous home run in 1988 in game 1 against the A's of the World Series. The thing that I remember the most of the taillights in the parking lot, people trying to beat traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, that is a place where certainly Zabe's always leave early mentality may certainly come into play, for Dodger Stadium and that LA traffic. That is where I might support an always leave early.
But you missed Kirk Gibson's home run then.
Yeah. I mean, that's the price you pay for being a Dodgers fan, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you probably pay, $30 for a Dodger dog or however much it is.
Yeah. But hey, you got Kyle Tucker, so woohoo.
True.
Yay for you.
Asian Crystal.
And you get to yell at everyone on Twitter and tell them, well, every team can do this. Boo.
No.
I've had so many of them in my mentions today. It's ridiculous. And the amount of them that have like anime, like profile pictures is ridiculous. I'm like, are you guys bots? What is this?
Probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bots out there. Asian Crystalani writes on the talk and text line, I didn't know that about Dodger Stadium. The more you know. How you can just drive to whatever section that, like the level that you're sitting on. So you don't have to go up and down escalators. They have escalators. You can use them if you want. But if you have if you're on the yellow level, you park on the yellow level and just walk in because it's built into the first time I ever drove to the top of Dodger Stadium, that was trippy because you just kept going up and up and up and up. And they had a gift. I don't know if it's still there, but they had a gift store, like a team store at the top of the stadium. And that's open 24. Well, it's open year round. It's not open 24/7, but it's open year round. And I was there I was there for the Rose Bowl once. And I just wanted to see Dodger Stadium. I'd never seen Dodger Stadium. I've been back a couple of times since, but I just wanted to see it. And it was open and you could see the whole stadium from the top of it. It was a really neat view because you got the mountains in the background. It's a great backdrop for hitters and one of the prettiest backdrops in all the sports. And now Kyle Tucker gets that backdrop for his home games. For $60 million a year.
How nice for him.
All right. We're remembering Bob Uecker on the 1-year anniversary of his passing. And what made him famous was The Tonight Show. We're going to play a short excerpt of one of his appearances, one of his 100 or so appearances that he had with Johnny Carson. Made him a household name. We're going to do that on the other side. Stay with us. It's Doug, Nick, and Dave, D.N.D. on the game.
All about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we've climbed hills and trees.
Everything is George Brett.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
Yeah. As we celebrate the 1 year, as Nick would put it, we celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the death of Bob Uecker, which Bob would get a kick out of.
Oh, yeah.
We commemorate the 1 year anniversary of the passing. Bob Uecker. We're getting your messages on the talk and text line 877-794-1973. Many of them very, 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 very kind. And I'm sure we're all reading them. I know I'm reading them as they come in as well. This is our last show. We got 1 more hour to go. Not to dwell on it. The best way to honor the show is to do the show, but we're getting some really nice messages from you guys, and we appreciate them all. I don't know that I'm going to have a chance to answer all of them during the show because there's been so many that have come in, but I have been able to read them all. And so thank you for all of the messages that have been coming in on this show as we do sunset at a little bit more than an hour from now. But Bob Uecker was on the Tonight Show over 100 times, and this is just a little bit of what made Bob Uecker Bob Uecker.
We're talking with Bob Uecker, who spent 14 years in the majors. Was your dad an athlete? I mean, where did you get you got the physique of an athlete? Where'd you get the ability?
Well, I guess I did get it from my dad. My dad came to this country as a soccer player.
I didn't know that.
And well, he wasn't actually a player. He blew up the balls, is what he did.
That's part of it.
Well, the big thing, I think, a real tribute to my dad was the fact that they didn't have pumps at that time.
And he did that anyway.
Yes, he did. He did a beautiful job.
I've noticed when I watch ball, most athletes, for some reason, go through kind of rituals or superstitions. They wear the same uniform, the same pair of socks. I think one of the tennis players, somebody like Cliff Richie, has one pair of trunks. He plays a match, washes them out, and uses them because it's a superstition. Now, does that run in all athletic
Well,
competition?
I guess I had certain things that used to bother me. For instance, maybe I'd leave the house, and I'd be walking outside, and I'd hear one of my kids say, another day, another dollar, 4 at bats, another collar. That would make me think that I wasn't going to get a hit that day.
Your own family.
Well, I know my dad many times would ask me, I'd be leaving the ballpark, and he'd say, where are you going to be sitting today?
That destroys a man's pride.
I mean, you haven't even got there yet. And, or if I'd see a bulldog running across the field with a cigar in his mouth, I knew I wasn't going to get a hit that day. Or maybe my last time at bat, I'd look in the visitor's dugout and see all the guys sitting there with their street clothes on.
What's the weirdest superstition with other players?
Well, I've seen a lot of players. Other players, some fellows have a superstition about picking up dirt. They pick up dirt. I'm sure you've seen them do it. And pick up dirt and throw it out of their hands. And if you do it, they'll do it again. I don't know what it is or why they do it, but if you pick up dirt after they do, they'll bend down and pick it up again. I mean, this can go on. It could be a 9-inning dirt picking up. You see players, a lot of players coming from the outfield to the dugout. They always have to touch, well, either third base or second base, whatever it is.
I've seen that when they run in.
Now, a player on our bench would try and race out there and beat him to the bag. And it really does bother a lot of players. I mean, if somebody else touches a bag before they do, they're done.
That's all over for the day.
Right. I never had the problem of touching any bag.
You didn't make a lot of treks around,
didn't.
did you? Did you hit many homers in your career?
No, I didn't. I think, well, there were days, a lot of things used to bother me, John. I'd maybe get a threatening phone call from somebody where I'd pick up the phone, the guy would say, I hope you get a hit.
And you'd choke right
well,
down.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It just bothers you the rest of the ball game.
You ever play Little League ball?
Yes, I did. Well, they didn't call it Little League ball at that time. they changed the name a few years after I started playing, but I played Little League Baseball. And I think really too much emphasis is put on winning and losing with Little League players, really. I know I tell my boy, he comes home and talks about not playing or another boy is better than he is. And I tell him you've got to work harder, you've got to play more, you've got to try and do your job better. And then, of course, if he's still better than you are, well, then it's up to you to get him on the side and just hit him with a bat or something.
And the way that he would just deadpan the entire story.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Over 100 appearances on the Tonight Show, and that's what made him a household name. And that's how he got cast into Mr. Belvedere. And he took the Mr. Belvedere role, did that for 7 years or so, and then spun that off into the Major League movies. But it was great to see the Mr. Belvedere cast come back for his baseball memorial service last year at American Family Field. One more hour to go. Stay with us.
Papa, please pray for
Okay, enough. Enough.
Come on.
The funeral music stops now.
Goodness gracious. I don't even know if I can say George Brett would use this one.
Yeah, I mean, we're enough about
sad.
George Brett's. We're
but poor,
celebrating George.
orphaned puppy radio hosts.
We are right.
Bro.
Okay, so, over the
They're
top.
like positive songs about going out on top.
Yeah.
Like here I go again on my own. You know what I mean? Like let's get some motivation here.
Yeah.
You're gonna walk around like Charlie Brown after this, all sulking and sad.
You aren't.
I mean, another one bites the dust. I think it's a mistake.
There's one. There's Closing Time by Semisonic, but now you hit me with
that's what Armin was thinking earlier. Yeah,
you hit me with you hit me with Sarah McLachlan, and I'm thinking about a dog that's dying outside.
Yeah, a dog that needs the ASPCA and all that stuff. But
my God,
that's right.
Goodness.
That's right.
Also, Sarah McLachlan had to make an appearance today. Okay,
and by the way, Sarah McLachlan had to send them a cease and desist. It's like, okay, she said, okay, enough.
Ended her career.
It kind of did.
I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, every song you play, dead dogs.
Yeah.
Beaten dogs, sad dogs, bad cat. I mean, doesn't help. Doesn't help. Well, I'll be damned. People are really sad when they hear my music.
Well, yeah. Nobody wants to listen to my music anymore. My career is over because it got associated with beaten dogs.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And as we established on yesterday's show, I can't watch a dog movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because the dog always dies in the end.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
In every dog movie. Every single one. Anyway.
Anyway, All Dogs Go to Heaven, classic.
Yeah.
Classic movie.
All Dogs Go to Heaven. You know why? Because they're dead.
Well,
because they're dogs and they're good and wholesome.
Right. But dogs should live forever. And they unfortunately don't.
That's right. And to kind of peel back the curtain on that film, if you guys were unaware, the young girl that voiced the main character in that movie was actually killed by her father in production.
Oh my God.
And so when Burt Reynolds is doing his final line of like saying, like, you know what I mean, he's going to heaven, the dog, he's like tearing up and crying because at that point he was recording last. The actress had already been killed by her own father.
Okay. Me playing Sarah McLachlan is no longer the saddest part of this segment.
It's just, I'm just letting you guys know. I mean, Hollywood, it's a bad place. Bad stuff happens, especially back then. I mean, child stars and their parents taking advantage of them. And saddest, I believe, Judith Barcy.
Oh, I've heard that. I remember that story.
But bad stuff doesn't happen if you get some polyurea coating on your
Nick.
That's right.
Nick, you got to save us from this. Save us from ourselves.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
Well, on today's Bruiser's Bites, we're going to go down all the famous child actors murdered by their families. We'll start here. I'm just joking. Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. Visit them there. You know the drill. They'll do great work. They'll make your garage the best on the block, and you'll be really satisfied. So wiconcretecoatings.com. We got Nick Osen on the other side, so maybe a bit of an abbreviated Bruiser's Bites today, but I did want to play this. It's a little bit longer, about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Josh Pate is this surging college football analyst, know-it-all guy, and he was on Rich Eisen, and Eisen asked him about the current state of the transfer portal and where we're at. This is what he had to say.
How many kids are in the portal?
In all of college football, all levels, we got over 10,000 right now. Just FBS right now, we have 3,824 players in the portal, and it closes in like 2 days.
So what happens to the kids who don't move? Do they just go back and just go to their coaches and say, sorry?
You can attempt that. In a lot of cases, it's just over. I've watched this happen every cycle. Like, guys just disappear. They have no idea when they enter the portal that they just ended their college football career until the door closes in their face and they've got nowhere to land and it's over. There's still a part of me in my mind that thinks those are still kind of sort of kids. And I still kind of sort of think it's garbage that the entire representation / agency model or lack thereof is in college athletics what it is. Because to become an accredited agent in college football, all you got to do is go to your Twitter bio and put agent in it. That's it. And you can give the worst, most horrific advice possible, and you can leverage the system. I mean, in a lot of cases, Rich, especially this past cycle, I've been made aware of programs just passing cash to the agent to keep information from the player they represent when it comes to other offers on the table. That would never happen in the NFL because you have guardrails.
All right. A lot there. I just wanted to use it as maybe a greater representation of what operates in the shadows of the transfer portal. We spend so much time on this guy goes to this team got this player, XYZ. What happens to the guys that don't find a team?
Yeah.
Well, their career often ends. Is it possible in this system to feel bad for the players, in your opinion? Or do you see it as, hey, you know what? You're making your own bed. You got to sleep in it. You're making these decisions, and ultimately you didn't have to.
I think more the latter than the former, because you still have to be responsible for the decisions that you make, even if you're a young adult, even if your frontal lobe isn't completely developed, even if you are young and impressionable and being taken advantage of. At the end of the day, I mean, it's a hard lesson to learn, but I mean, you're still responsible for the decisions that you make. And I feel badly to a certain extent, but I mean, again, you have to make, you're going to college. I would like to think that you're getting an education when you go to college. Some do, some don't. Some take advantage of it, some don't. Some need the education, and the elite ones don't necessarily, but they should probably take advantage of it. But the thing that I like about college athletics more than anything else is it gives opportunities to kids to get an education that they otherwise might not get. That having been said, you're still responsible for yourself. And if your career is going to end because of a dumb thing that you did, I feel bad to a certain extent, but I'm not going to shed any tears.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you have, like, you're on a team and, you know, you're in a good situation in that sense. I understand wanting to look for, you know, potentially better, you know, if you're blocked at a certain place, wanting to find something else. But yeah, you're competing against so many other players out there trying to get noticed during an absolute frenzy. And it's tough. So yeah, I mean, it's the decisions you make and consequences that come with them that you end up having to deal with. And yeah, I'm with Doug. Like, I feel bad to an extent because for some of these guys, their careers could last much longer. But also, you know, for some of those guys, like, they're back end roster players to begin with, you know, trying to look for different opportunities. And it's like, maybe they just are back end roster players. And like, that starting opportunity is not going to materialize. I in a real world example is I have a friend of mine who hated her job, absolutely hated it. And she quit. Like, I'm going to find something else. I just can't do this anymore. And it took her a year and a half to find another job. Yeah. She voluntarily gave up what she didn't have to give up. Sometimes you just have to suck it up. It's not the greatest situation in the world, but until the alternative, you find that other job. And right. And then you find that other job while you have the job. And then 2-week notice, I'm out. Yeah. And then, right. And then it's peace out. But don't leave something unless you've got something else voluntarily. Oftentimes, as we've seen, sometimes you're not voluntarily, you know, given. You're voluntold. Yes, you're voluntold. And that, but there's nothing you can do about that more often than not. Whereas if you have that opportunity and you still have a job that maybe not be perfect, do your due diligence. And it cost my friend, it cost her dearly. And she burned through all of her savings just trying to stay afloat. And it's tough. She's bounced back, but it was gnarly there for a little while.
Well, talking about leaving a job voluntarily, Mike Tomlin decided to step down from the Pittsburgh Steelers head coaching job. I can't imagine he will be able to blow through his savings, hopefully. 19 years at the helm for the Pittsburgh Steelers, making millions of dollars. But a lot of speculation about what's next for him. And former player of his when he was an assistant coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rondé Barber, shared his opinion on what's next for someone he has described as a close friend.
He was the first person really in the building that truly believed in me, truly told me that I was going to be the player that I ended up being. And there really are no words to describe how good of a football coach he is. Now, that being said, Mike's a friend, man. He's like family to me. We vacation every year, and this there's a lot of stories out there about Mike coming up and wanting to take 1 year off and go coach. I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, I think he's done. I think he wants to be done. Last year I was in Long Island with him, and he told me then, he said, I think this is my last year. He didn't say anything to anybody else for the entire year. So Mike, I'm telling you right now, when Canton comes calling, dude, I'm gonna be there for you, just like you were for me.
All right. Well, quite the perspective from a guy who knows Mike Tomlin really well. If this is it for Mike Tomlin, does he have anything left to prove, or do you guys think that it's a career well accomplished?
19 years as an NFL head coach. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's been to a second one. I mean, I know you wanted more postseason success. I get that. But 19 years without a losing record, I mean, that's job well done, sir.
Yeah. And he's taken some, obviously he had Big Ben for a large part of that, but for the past several years, taken some mediocre quarterbacks to the playoffs. So, I mean, I think there's still something to be said for that, even though they didn't have the playoff success. But yeah, 19 years in the league as a head coach where, I mean, a lot of coaches don't get anywhere near that amount of run as a head coach. So, yeah, I think he absolutely should be recognized there. I don't think he has anything more left to prove. I don't think he needs another Super Bowl in order to get himself into Canton. I don't think he needs anything else on his resume. He has done plenty to be regarded as one of the top coaches of his era.
Yeah, he's an obvious Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Obvious. Easy Hall of Famer.
I like that answer. I like it a lot. For what it's worth, the Steelers, obviously, like most teams, are still searching for not most teams, but all but the Giants, and that's not even final, of the vacancies have yet to be filled. Jeff Hafley will be interviewing with the Steelers tomorrow. It'll be the 6th team that he is interviewing for their head coaching position. I think Micah was wrong when Micah says he's going nowhere. I think you were wrong, Micah. Wishful thinking. Sure. I think a lot of Packers fans might feel that way, but that's the reality. Transitioning to the Bucs, they lose last night, 119-101 to the San Antonio Spurs. And gosh, as much as you don't want him to go, it feels like Giannis might make the most sense to leave. But here is his reaction to last night's performance.
Coming out of the half, I think Ryan had 3 wide open threes that if one of them goes in, Knights hope totally different game. We rolling, we move, feeling good about ourselves. But none of them went in, going the other way. They were making tough shots. Wemby had one falling away from the wing. Guys were driving. They had some offensive rebound, and they just kept having the momentum. And the lead was bigger and bigger and bigger.
As it stands now, we're a few weeks away from the NBA's trade deadline. Do you guys anticipate it being a notable one for the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, I think they're going to do something because John Horst is a tinkerer. He knows what he's put together right now is not working. John's a lot of things, but he's not a dummy. And he's done the best that he can, I think, with what was available to him. The Damian Lillard injury, and then the injuries while Dame was here in Milwaukee, whether it was to Chris Middleton, whether it was to Giannis in the playoffs. I mean, it's just one thing after another. Sometimes you get that when you have an older roster. But, I mean, Brook Lopez missed a lot of time with that back injury. But I anticipate the Bucks are going to try to do something because, you've got Giannis for. Remember, Giannis has said that he's never going to request a trade. That's what he said. His contract is also up in 2 years. Requesting a trade and leaving as a free agent are two wildly different things.
Yeah, and all the reports out there are that the Bucks are going to be aggressive at the trade deadline. They know they got to do something to keep him. I just saw this from NBA Central that the Grizzlies are potentially talking with the Bucks about Ja Morant, and the Grizzlies are targeting one of the Bucks' first-round picks in 2031 or 32, and Ryan Rollins in trade talks. But you can get Ja Morant.
They're not just going to give away Ja Morant.
Yeah.
A pick that far down the road.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't do it, but
kid's in middle school right now. That draft pick is in middle school.
It makes it more digestible if they were to move that direction. Because I'm not that butthurt if they move off of Ryan Rollins. Ja's a good player, but he's been way worse. Yeah. Almost each of the last 3 years worse each season. So
yeah, but they are going to be aggressive and they are going to try and do something to spark this team because John Horst knows he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as it stands now, they're pretty close to being a top draft pick, and they swap with the Pelicans, I think, and both teams are terrible. So, I mean, chances are they might get a good first-round draft pick this year if you're the Bucks. You cross your fingers that the Pelicans are the first pick and you're the second pick, and then there's really no swap there. It's just, well, we get second pick. We'll end here with this. Joe Thomas, obvious stud, former Badger, NFL Hall of Famer. This is what he had to say about Liam Danitz, the Hope College edge rusher that you mentioned earlier, Dave. Track guys never turn out to be good football players. But holy smokes, just watch Liam's film, and unlike most track guys, he has wiggle and is loose and fluid athlete. He's got an elite get-off, needs to gain some weight, but could be great. Well done at Badger football at Coach Fick. So now he's got the stamp of approval from Joe Thomas.
That's good enough for me. And he said the same thing we were saying. Add some weight. But he's got some skills.
I mean, it's a position of need. You just wonder about somebody coming from Division III to the Big Ten.
Yeah, Matt Young did it last year, the safety, and he did.
Get that boy in the weight room. Get him in the get him at the trainer's table. If you know what I'm saying.
Nice guy.
Get him
very nice guy.
Just nice man.
Get him some lean protein on him.
Yep,
that's right.
Get
the
whey,
just
protein.
fat. I mean, just bulk this guy up.
Yeah,
old Wisconsin style. Apparently whole milk is back in, so give him some of that.
Let's go. All right, get him some whole milk. Back in the cafeteria.
That's what I did to bulk up. A ton of whole milk a couple years ago.
Did it work?
I put on like 30 pounds in 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
Oh, that sounds unhealthy.
It was.
Yeah, I haven't gotten whole milk. I've gone like 1%, 2%. So like I've drank it a ton, and it certainly works.
I started eating like 5,000 calories a day. That was like
that's
my summer
probably
project.
more what had to do with the 30 pounds. And
but a lot of that was whole milk. Whole milk is calorie dense, more protein, but it's very fatty. I don't even know how to spin that into
from
the Wisconsin
2%
concrete coatings.
Coating
my
not
intestinal
fatty, polyurea coating.
Yeah, that's right. Or talking about coating my stomach with whole milk, you can coat your floor with polyurea coating from Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. Our buddy Nick Osen coming up next.
Yeah, coming up next. And by the way, if you eat 5,000 calories a day and you want to put some of that off, call our friends at Madison Weight Loss, 608-774-7241, or go to madisonweightloss.com. That's
I was rail thin.
Yeah. Tell them Doug Russell sent you.
Tell them Doug Russell sent you.
Yeah, if you want to gain weight, tell them Nick Brewswit sent you.
And just drink that whole milk
right.
and consume that 5,000 calories a day.
It was a bag of powdered donuts every morning. Full bag.
I mean, if you're going to put on weight, wouldn't you? That's not the best way to put it on.
I was working out a lot, and I was
It's a way to put it on fast, though.
That's what I was trying to do, and I did it. I went from 145 to 175.
Okay.
All right. That was cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Nick Osen's coming up next. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Will you remember me?
'Cause I'll be there in the back of your mind from the day we met to you making me cry. And it's just too bad you already had the best days of your life.
It's D.N.D on a Friday afternoon, chugging into Drew and Hunter here on the Game Radio Network. It is our last day. We're getting some very nice messages from you guys. We appreciate them very much. Nick Osen joining us on the program right now, as he has done regularly throughout the run of this program from 24/7 Sports on the Badgers Beat. Nick, appreciate the time as always, and thank you for joining us one final time.
Guys, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure, obviously, to get to speak with you guys and break it down. And, congrats on a show that I've really enjoyed that I know many have. And I'm sorry for this news.
Well, the good news is nobody's dying. So we're all healthy. We're all, we're
Would that help us stay?
I would say we're not going anywhere, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
but we're all
going somewhere.
We all still have our health. Speaking of health, tell me about how healthy Liam Danitz is from Hope College and how much weight he needs to put on to go from Division III to the Big Ten.
Yeah, Doug, one of my favorite additions so far, right? He's a high ceiling guy. Obviously, he's going to need to add some muscle to play at this level. I think you could maybe get away with 245 to 248 range, but you probably want him a little bit closer to 250s or so. So that'd be at least 15 to 20 pounds. But he brings a lot of production from Hope College, some incredible measurables in terms of some of his speed, his length. Like I said, not every single addition is going to be one of the favorites or a home run, but this is just one that we were tracking all week. And I feel like it was a really nice eval from the staff. I think he's going to end up probably being used in some good pass rushing roles, and you go from there.
When you look at the path ahead for the Badgers still in this offseason from a football perspective, what's next? Is there still time, in your opinion, for them to add in the portal? I know that it closes, but once you're in, and you can always, make a decision thereafter. Is there more to be gained for this group, or are we at capacity?
Yeah, Nick, it's a great question. It's kind of the question of the day. I know a lot of my readers have asked similarly. So there are 28 additions that we all know of. And look, they're not going to add just to add. But if everything went perfectly, I think that they would love to potentially add one more defensive lineman, as well as maybe a receiver or so. There are a couple other positions, and who knows? I mean, I'm not, in kind of the secrecies of it all, but I think we've covered it pretty well. I don't see them taking over 30 guys, and it just feels like if they can add a depth piece at one of those spots, somebody that can come in, bring some snaps, some competition, I think they would love that. A couple players that we kind of mentioned on the boards in terms of potential visits, and one was a little bit more public. Zion Kearney from Oklahoma, a wide receiver, might get on campus here in the near future. He's at Toledo today, but otherwise, we're really, really close, Nick, because obviously school starts back up, and players need to report and be a part of workouts and everything.
Nick, turning over here to basketball now, you made the drive up to the barn in Minnesota for the game. And first of all, I mean, you deserve the Big Brass J Journalism Award. I mean, making the trip up there and back.
Nick usually gets the Big Brass J.
He usually does. But you make the trip up, and John Blackwell certainly made the trip worth it with his buzzer beater there at the end. But this team, we talked about it a little bit on the J&K Security Solutions basketball postgame show, but we talked about, how this team is really kind of starting to finally gel together now.
Yeah, Dave, I really couldn't agree with you more, my friend. I think that, look, I'm not sure if they've fully turned a corner, simply because I never thought that things were kind of as bad as people made it out to be, right? But in terms of togetherness, competition levels, flow, chemistry, and obviously the most important thing, victories, those are really coming together right now. A really nice stretch over several quality opponents, to be quite honest. I mean, the Badgers were just a small favorite over Minnesota on the road. And you look at the rest of the way, really here in January. Like, there's a chance to go from this 3-game win streak to, guys, potentially 6 or 7 if they can kind of take care of these teams that they will be favored over. They'll be favored next week at Penn State, heavy favorite at home tomorrow. I'm sure they'll be favored in all these home games this month. So it'd be really nice, to get up to 7, 8, potentially 9, I think, Big Ten wins before you hit a little bit tougher month of February.
Nick Osen joining us from 24/7 Sports. We're talking some Badgers basketball. You look at some of the other teams in the Big Ten. They've already seen Michigan. Obviously, they've already seen Nebraska. Got blown out at Nebraska, but Michigan State's a quality team. Illinois is a quality team. Where are the Badgers when you look at the league, now 18 teams for the second year, in its totality? They were one of the teams, Wisconsin, that got votes in the AP Top 25. Not enough to be ranked, but still got some votes. So some people are starting to take notice. In your best estimation, how good is this team in conference?
Yeah, Doug, I still think that they are around really like a top third team, maybe just on the edge of that, because it is a heck of a conference when you talk about obviously Purdue, obviously Michigan. Nebraska's been one of the stories of college hoops. But as Wisconsin has shown, right, at their best, they can beat anyone. They hung with Purdue for a while, and then things got away. They obviously beat Michigan, who several people think is the best team in the country. So I think, what is that? That'd be like 6. So maybe in that 5 to 7 type range. I know that they have a couple Big Ten losses, but I like Wisconsin over a UCLA, over a USC. Ohio State hasn't really kind of hit their stride. So that's probably where I would go, Doug. And just briefly having this schedule up, I don't think it's crazy to say. I know it's hard to project this stuff, but I will not be shocked if they are 9-2 in the Big Ten going into February.
Wow.
And then you're looking at, from my understanding, just 1 or 2 more Big Ten wins and you're in the dance. Now, is it possible, like any team, they have a slip up? Sure. But even 8-3, I think would be better than some people thought after that tough December stretch.
Nick, as you look at the success that Greg Gard has been able to have here, and previously, of course, Bo Ryan, it's been built around, first and foremost, a strong head coach, but the additional assistant coaches have such a large impact. And Silver Waves Media, for what it's worth, put out a top 100 most impactful assistant coaches in college basketball, and Sharif Chambliss is on that list. And I tend to believe Joe Kravinoff's one hell of an assistant coach and well recognized for that. Like, how much does this assistant staff lend towards the success of these players in this program, in your opinion? You talk to the recruits as they're coming in and you speak with them while they're here.
Yeah, Nick, awesome question. And that's one that I really like getting into with basketball, football. Look, I think that, Coach Chambliss gets some awesome recognition, which is well-deserved. You mentioned Coach Kravinoff. I think Lance Randall's done a nice job bringing in like kind of a deeper, more experienced international type of really career too. And then there are several other staffers too. So I'll give them credit and also say, Coach Gard would agree with you, Nick, that the assistants do a lot. I mean, they often are the guys running practices or kind of the one-on-one aside, talking players through things. Like they do a ton. And I would argue maybe more than ever in today's day and age, because I know Coach Gard would say, he's got to obviously go to events and deal with donors on top of recruiting and game planning. So these guys do a lot. I did see that earlier today, and I thought that was really cool to see, Bruce.
Nick, yesterday we saw this huge indictment come down in college basketball in this point shaving scheme, and mentioned in there was a couple times was Elijah Gray, the player who transferred to Wisconsin before they found out he was involved in this scheme, and he was dismissed from the roster. But what did you make of that news, that report coming out, and what it means for, I mean, not only for really Gray here, but for college basketball as a whole?
Yeah, Dave, I would just say it was really unfortunate. I mean, with the Gray aspect, I knew about that for a while. And obviously he was sent off the team immediately, essentially when they found out. But it's an ugly thing in today's world of sports, right? I mean, gambling can be a lot of fun for many, but when it gets into actual athletes and even worse, affecting the games, that's just a really really scary thing that I think can hurt a lot of people, and obviously these beautiful sports, that we love. So wasn't shocked by most of the names or kind of the report as a whole, but just the fact that it all kind of came out and some of those details were pretty shocking and unbelievable to read.
Nick Osen joining us for just a couple more minutes here on D.N.D. on the Game Radio Network. Greg Gard among those who believe that the new transfer portal window, one that's shorter, one that's later, is a step in the right direction. What else still needs to be done as far as the transfer portal in your eyes to make it a workable, not only for the players, of course, but also for the health of college basketball as a whole?
Well, Doug, I think things are trending better. Like, I love that move for hoops. I love that there's now just one portal for football. I love the timing of both, especially basketball. It's a little bit easier. But I think the next thing for me would probably be like a one-time transfer rule, free transfer rule, and then a second time for like a coaching change. Other than that, I think guys should have to maybe sit a little bit outside of extenuating circumstances, because, I'm turning on, what game was it? I think it was Kansas, Iowa State, as I'm wrapping up my Badgers work a couple of nights ago. And I think there's a couple players that have legitimately played for 4 different schools in 4 years, I think, with the Jayhawks. And it just kind of takes away really the love of program and tradition and things like that. And another point is, when you're done, let's say you're on the cusp of being a pro, but maybe not a long-time NBA player, you want to come back to college homecoming, whatever that looks like. Where do you kind of go?
Right.
Where are kind of your
where does AJ Storr come back to?
And that, those ties and brotherhood. It's something really interesting, Doug, and something I've dug into a little bit more.
Nick, I feel like it needs to be mentioned. Congratulations to your Bears. No one's happy for you, but you're happy.
No, really unhappy.
As you prepare for this weekend, it's gonna be the last game in the divisional round. Everyone's pulling for the Rams around here. Where do you stand on the Bears? Some have said it's already been a successful season, that they're essentially playing with house money moving forward.
Yeah, well, first off, I know deep down you're happy for me. I would
maybe
say
for you, maybe just you.
That calls it a successful season unless you're holding, the Lombardi, just because we've been very far before. It's been a long time, but in terms of house money, I would agree. I mean, this wasn't expected. I think you can kind of, shut down the season and be happy if this is where it ends. But as Dan Campbell said a couple seasons ago, you never know when you're going to get back. And this is the one team I'm always going to still be a fan, even wherever this reporting takes me. I think the Bears have a pretty good shot. I love the weather forecast. And I'll also add, Bruce, it's my birthday weekend. So if we could get this one.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go.
I know. I brought it up earlier. It's tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We did actually want to quiz you, because I said everyone's birthdays, and Doug's like, I bet he doesn't know mine. Any clue on Doug? Does he give you any vibes on what month his birthday would be, Nick?
Yeah, so that wouldn't be a failure, because he's never told me. But he strikes me as a late summer, early fall type of guy.
Late fall, November.
Okay,
me.
I will take that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Any guesses on me, Nick?
I feel like, early spring?
Nope. Not even close.
It's
October. Right?
It's October.
Don't beat yourself up, Nick. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, it was Game 5 of the NLDS this year.
Oh,
this past year. Yeah,
he's a big Brewers fan too, man. So that was quite the birthday for him.
He's got to celebrate in the clubhouse. They threw a champagne bath for him.
Yeah, for me specifically. Yeah,
that was a dark day in my life. Watch the Badgers get shut out and beat brutally, and
that's how Dave and I felt when Nick Osen's Chicago Bears were.
Yeah, that's what we felt Saturday night.
Like Swiss cheese.
Yeah,
the fourth quarter.
Karma giveth, karma taketh away.
Yeah. Guard comes in the locker room and says, F the Boilermakers. F them. I think I'd like it.
F the Illini.
Yes.
F the Golden Gophers.
Right.
Rowing what boat? Turnover chain my F&A. Oh, wait a minute. That was actually said by
that really that kind of
coach. Yeah.
Anyway,
that was a great quote, all timer.
Nick, happy birthday! I hope your football team loses on Sunday. But again, it's not. Hey, listen, it's nothing.
We say it with love.
We say it with love and affection, of course.
Yeah.
We will catch, like I said.
No, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you did for the show. Again, nobody's dying, so you will see us again. We will resurface. And I don't know if it will, what the configuration is going to look like, but at least as far as this iteration of having you on our program, we appreciate it so much.
You bet, guys. Sincerely, thank you so much. Looking forward to what's next. We'll talk soon. Bear down.
I had to get that in. There he goes. Nick Osen joining us one final time
Too
here.
Slow on the fader, bringing him down.
D.N.D. Yeah, come on, Dave.
Yeah, sorry.
Do your job.
It's so
what are
anyway.
you gonna do? Lay me off?
One more segment to go here on the program. I know we're losing our Madison audience because of women's hockey. They are at St. Thomas. Pregame starts at 1:45. So if you are listening on 1070 The Game in Madison, this is our sign off for now, and hopefully we will talk to you again soon. We do have one more segment to go on the Game Radio Network, and then we will close up shop for good.
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, X, still on there.
Still on there. Yeah. All right. Stay with us. We will be right back one final time here on The Game.
The best days of your life.
little Randy Newman on the way out?
Yeah, little Randy Newman.
Nice.
But we'll all still be friends.
I got a lovely text on my personal number from Jocko.
Yes.
Jocko, well, you can't hear me. We're on hockey now. But Jocko, if you're out there in the ether.
Yeah. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Rancorp writes, what the hell am I going to do without you guys? Work? Here at Rancorp, we don't like work. We're all about effing around.
Yeah. And we did a great job of that on this show, effing around.
Now we did.
That is right.
It's been a fun ride. Thank you. Thank you, Rancorp. Appreciate you for that. And so this is it. As we announced yesterday on the Drew and Hunter afternoon show, and I mean, this isn't something that is shocking. There were changes that started in October that, we went off the air in Milwaukee. So the good news is that the morning show that will feature Drew Olsen, Billy Schmid, and Armin's going to be show running that is returning to terrestrial radio in Milwaukee, which we haven't been on in a long time. There is a flip side to that. The flip side is that the 6A to 6P local shows that have been running in Madison and on the streaming services, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or X, YouTube and the like, those, including this show, are going away. That including, the afternoon show right now with Drew Olsen and Hunter Baumgart, that is going away. And, it's part of the business. It is not the first time I have had to sunset a show and be part of that. Probably won't be the last. If you've been in this business for any length of time, shows come and go, stations come and go. It's not a part of the business that any of us like by any stretch of the imagination, but it is part of the reality, unfortunately, of what we do sometimes.
Yep. Yeah. And
Nick,
you know
ahead.
what? I'll just say this. We all got essentially another life with this show for the last 3 months, right? It was unpredictable and unexpected what would happen, what would transpire following the layoffs that began in September with Mike and then ultimately everybody else that was let go in October. It was a roller coaster, but to be able to get to this Packers season, what was a very interesting one, certainly the postseason with the Brewers, right? To have the opportunity to be on the microphone for those moments in this setting was a blast. And it's a lot of fun to do it with you guys. I've had certainly some more exposure to Dave over the last couple of years doing the post-game show with him. But to do this at length with you, Doug, was a lot of fun. There's a lot to learn from a guy like you. So as much as I learned from Mike, I got to learn from you. I've learned from a lot of different people with a lot of experience here, beginning at the age that I did. So it was a blast. I'm looking forward to it. I anticipate, having the ability to cross paths down the road. So it's not necessarily goodbye. It's just see you for now.
Yeah. I mean, this has been, for me, one of the greatest thrills and joys of my life, because this is all I've wanted to do. This is all I've wanted to be able to bring, and to be able to do it with you guys as we have.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, it's been a blast, dude.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
And, it's like I said, I joked on when we made the announcement yesterday, cut me open and count my rings, because, been around this for a while. And this is, again, not the first time that this has happened. And it sucks every time it happens. There's no question about it. And, the fortunate part is there are other outlets. And I suspect that if you've enjoyed listening to this show, this isn't going to be the last time that you hear our voices. Dave, you launched not long ago your Daily Brewers podcast / it's a video stream,
video podcast on YouTube, and I think it's also on Spotify as well. So I got that, Brewers Daily. Also, I might as well throw this out there now. I'll put an announcement probably on Twitter a little bit later, but I'm also going to be getting back into the Brewers writing and blogging sphere, and I will be joining Brew Crew Ball.
That's awesome.
At the beginning of February, so very excited for that.
That's
so
fantastic.
I'll still be writing, covering the Brewers. I'll still be having baseball insights there. If you've enjoyed them, I know Jim and Oshkosh, I was texting with him a little bit on the text line here, how he always enjoyed them from me. So Like I'll still be able to have, the Brewers takes that I've always brought, and have those now at Brew Crew Ball coming up in February for the upcoming Brewer season, and of course Brewers Daily on YouTube every single day. And very excited for that, and to kind of build and see what else goes from there.
Just want to let you know it's also on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, there we go.
Daily.
Let's go.
So
all right,
Brewers
we're putting it
on
everywhere.
Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. So you're gonna have opportunity to find Dave every day talking about the Brewers, which is I think a task that certainly I couldn't do.
Yeah.
Not many could do.
It gets
but
difficult some days. When the Brewers haven't made a transaction in a month.
I don't believe that, Dave.
Yeah.
Nobody believes
even
you.
for you.
There are some days where it's like literally I'm struggling for topics, and I still end up having the show go like 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like
struggling for topics.
Yeah. I'm just like, and I just keep on going.
There are a few that are more well-versed, not just Brewers, but the inner workings of the entire organization. I mean, there are a lot of people who can talk about the major league team. There are even some that can talk about the high minor league prospects that everybody knows about. There are a few, and I will tell you this. I think I've said this to you privately, but I'll say it publicly as well.
Yeah.
There are few that I've ever encountered on any level that have as much depth of knowledge of the minor league system of a franchise than you. So if there's anyone out there who wants to know about the depths of the Brewers minor league system, everything that goes into it, I mean, this is your forte. This is where you shine. This is where you have expertise. I mean, how many times have we all deferred to a minor league player and
Dave, what do we know about him?
Yeah, Dave, what do we know about this guy? Because if you don't know about the guy, then nobody does.
Right. Yeah. I put together a top 50 prospects list, each year. One of the deepest prospects list you're going to find, and that is going to be coming up at Brew Crew Ball at some point in February. So very excited for that. But so I'll still be bringing the coverage, and hopefully I'll still be able to be at the ballpark every game throughout the year, hanging out in the press box. So hopefully I'll still be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, where it goes from here, radio wise, I mean, we'll see. It is on God's good timing at that point. But I'll still have Brewers coverage out there to be found.
The page turns, but that doesn't mean that the book is ending.
Exactly.
That's
new chapter.
There's
is what we're getting.
Just a new chapter. That's all it is. And obviously there's some changes here that anticipated were first rolled around, but then we were quickly informed otherwise.
Yes.
But again, and I said this to both of you guys because I have been through this before. If you're in this business for any length of time, stuff like this happens, and it doesn't mean that anybody did a bad job. It just means that the playbook changed a little bit. So we turn the page, and better days are ahead. And we'll look forward to in Milwaukee listening to AM 920 the Huddle show with Nick Osen and Bill Schmidt, and and the show running that as well. But for everyone out there, Dave, Nick, thank you guys. You're awesome. To our listeners, most importantly, as I like to say, thank you for listening. We've done this, and we wouldn't have done this without you. We appreciate you. Goodbye.